parents arrived for a hard but better life on one of the hundreds of fishing vessels. They were instilled with an unyielding devotion to the patron saint of fishermen, and brought with them an annual religious tradition that blossomed into the most popular attraction in all of Cape Ann. I'm Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story of St. Peter's Fiesta. In 1926, fishing captain Sal Favazza wanted to replicate in Gloucester a custom from his birthplace of Favorata Terracini of thanking St. Peter for fair seas and abundant catches. He commissioned a Charlestown sculptor to build a statue of St. Peter that, to Favazza's surprise, arrived at his home nearly life-size, standing 5 feet tall and weighing 600 pounds. Fishermen's wives hailed its arrival with a novena, 9 days of song and prayer for their husbands at sea, at the Favazza's backyard. But the fishermen's wives wanted the statue to be honored the way it was in the old country, by taking it outdoors, mounting it to a platform, and parading it around the fort so every family could rejoice. Women collected $1 from each fishing boat and built a proper altar to rest the statue. In June of 1927, in accordance with the Feast of Saints Peter and Paul, a Roman holiday of public worship, St. Peter's Fiesta began. The Fort families opened their homes with endless amounts of food and wine. Decorative quilts and bedspreads hung from windows. Opera blared through the streets. The fishing fleet stayed in to celebrate, every boat painted and bannered. They went to the water's edge and blessed the statue, signifying the start of Fiesta. Fireworks were launched off Pavilion Beach as fishermen, dressed in all white, carried St. Peter on their shoulders, marching and chanting, Vamos, amo, tu te muda! Viva San Pedro! Vamos, amo, tu te muda! Viva San Pedro! As Gloucester began to embrace this new occasion, organizers wanted St. Peter's Fiesta to last multiple days and rival Boston's famous Fisherman's Feast, an annual citywide festival in the North End. The first order of business was to build a spectacular altar that could fit the statue, musical entertainment, and a Sunday benediction. Emilio Matarazzo, a contractor who ran a warehouse with his 4 sons in Chinatown, became Fiesta's official decorator. The Matarazzo strung lights along Commercial Street and built jaw-dropping altars that mimicked famous churches along the Mediterranean, such as the Avellino Cathedral in Sicily and St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. The first altars rose above the homes along Beach Court, standing 70 feet tall and 50 feet wide. Hundreds of yards of cloth, paper, and foil were pinned to the massive shrines. 10,000 electric lights lit up the night. To the people of the fort, it was heaven on earth. In the 1930s, games and competitions for kids and adults began to take prominence. The most popular event in Fiesta's early years was the seine boat races off Pavilion Beach. At that time, purse seine fishing, yes, we pronounce it seine, was the main fishing method. Seine fishing nets are dropped vertically in the water, their bottom edge weighed down with heavy rings, their top edge floated at the surface with buoys. A line runs through the rings, and once the nets are filled with fish, they're pursed up by the seine boat, then hauled onto a bigger boat. Seine boats held an entire fishing crew, and since the fleet stayed in for Fiesta, challenges amongst fellow boats became inevitable. Prizes in the first competitions were gold pieces worth up to $10. Crews today, including women's teams which began in 1995, and juniors, row in designated seines named Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria towards a flag anchored half a mile off Pavilion Beach, before making the 180-degree turn and racing ashore. The first to reach the beach wins an American flag. Second place earns an Italian flag. But the real prize is the bond amongst the rowers, and bragging rights. Contending crews bust each other's chops decades after the races are run. The other featured competition, the Greasy Pole Contest, is another custom from Italy that remains Fiesta's biggest crowd pleaser. Pole walking and climbing, as a measure of manliness, became popular in Europe centuries ago. Contestants walked or climbed poles slathered in mud, animal fat, and fish oil for a chance to snatch prizes like fresh food. The first Fiesta contest took place at the playground area of the fort, the pole jutting out from the rocky shoreline parallel to the ocean's surface. As Fiesta became a larger spectacle, the pole was moved to a platform 200 feet off Pavilion Beach, with a 40-foot telephone pole covered in biodegradable grease. Contestants in costumes walk in honor of someone in the fishing fleet, usually a relative. They take turns trying to grab a flag nailed to the end of the pole. There are 2 rules. Don't grab the flag during the opening courtesy round, or you'll get a beating, and keep an eye on the person walking before you. The event spans 3 days, with Friday's winner advancing to Saturday, and Saturday's winner advancing to Sunday. Sundays are reserved for champions who compete until they retire. When the flag is finally grabbed, the champion swims to shore, is lifted on the shoulders of the other walkers, and carried to the altar. The champs, like the same boat race winners, become part of Fiesta legend and lore. The true spirit of Fiesta, purists will tell you, is rooted in religion, and for decades, the highlight of the festival has been the Sunday procession of St. Peter's statue through downtown Gloucester. Months before the parade, families assemble ornate floats that recreate biblical scenes and sew homemade costumes that depict angels, saints, and other religious icons. The morning begins with an outdoor mass at the altar in St. Peter's Square, adjacent to the fort. Then, Fiesta committee members in their all-whites lead the 2-mile parade with marching bands, dignitaries, and all of the family floats. Thousands line the streets, many dressed for church and wearing symbolic buttons. The route includes stops along the city's Catholic churches, where St. Peter is blessed by clergy, St. Anne's Parish, and Our Lady of Good Voyage in Gloucester's predominantly Portuguese section. In fact, the Portuguese community introduced a hugely important part of Fiesta, the blessing of the fleet. As World War II neared its end, the congregation at Our Lady of Good Voyage began the ritual of marching a statue of the Virgin Mary of Fatima to the end of the state fish pier at Gloucester's Inner Harbor. There, clergy from the Archdiocese in Boston blessed hundreds of gathered vessels, calling each by name. The Italian community began to participate and slowly adopted the blessing into Fiesta. Two marginalized and sometimes rivalrous immigrant communities came together. By the 1950s, the blessing of the fleet moved to Stacy Boulevard and became a signature event. Fiesta ends with a final late-night procession as St. Peter is returned under a hail of confetti and song from the altar to his usual resting spot inside the front window of the nearby St. Peter's Club. Today, a public novena featuring the very prayers and songs recited by fishermen's wives a century ago lead into a 4-day carnival that helps support the Fiesta and its activities. The fishing fleet is just a fraction of what it used to be, and the fort has evolved from a cozy Sicilian neighborhood that always had a full plate for passerby and never locked its doors. Locals keep that spirit alive through cookouts, reunions, and parties. But the meaning of St. Peter's Fiesta remains steeped in the fort's old country beliefs: God, family, and fishing. So if you find yourself in Gloucester late in June, like tens of thousands of others, look for the altar with a life-size statue, wear something red, white, and green, grab a eats, and follow along when you hear the chant. Bona Fiesta, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gloucester, Massachusetts, home of the St. Peter's Fiesta, our biggest annual attraction and a tradition since 1927. This is the 2024 Greasy Pole Contest and Seine Boat Races, coming at you live from Pavilion Beach. Hi everyone, I'm your host, Kory Curcuru of Bridge Cape Band. Today we have the Women's Senior Seine Boat Race Finals and the Women's Junior Seine Boat Race Finals, sandwiching our signature event, the Greasy Pole. And this event just gets bigger and bigger every year. Now we know most of you are here to check out the Greasy Pole. You've probably seen the bloopers and a million clips all over, local news stations, YouTube, you name it. So let's give you the 101 on the Greasy Pole. Now, once you take a look out there, the platform is 12 by 12. It's about 200 yards off the beach. The pole is 46 feet long. Think of a telephone pole with 40 feet extending off the platform with a flag nailed to its end. It can be up to 25 feet above the water, depending on the tide. As you can see, it's a really high tide today. We'll have more on that in a little bit. And it's covered in a ton, lathered completely in biodegradable grease. Now, today we have 45 walkers. They're going to be dressed in costumes. I'm sure you've seen those highlights before. They have been pre-gaming for hours, as they should be. I'm sure they're parading through downtown Gloucester right now. And then eventually they're going to end up on a pontoon boat, and they are going to slowly make the trek out to that Greasy Pole platform to the barnacle-covered wooden ladder that they have to climb up to start today's odyssey. The contestants are usually part of a fisherman's family or walking in someone's honor. Today is more of an open competition. Now, the rules are as such. There's a courtesy round right off the bat, so when all the contestants are out there, everyone gets to walk the first round with just two simple rules. You cannot touch the flag. If you do, you will get a beating. And just keep an eye on the person in front of you. After that courtesy round is done, the first person to grab the flag is today's winner, Today's winner advances to tomorrow's competition, and the winner for Saturday's competition advances to Sunday, which is the Day of Champions, and the folks who walk Sunday have already won on a Sunday in the past, so it's a special event. By the way, I'm Kory Curcuru alongside John Nicastro. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Great to see you again. Thanks for doing this as always. Now, we want to say a few other things you're going to note and pick up on throughout the broadcast all weekend long. Once the winner grabs the flag and is in the water, he's going to be carried on his shoulders literally from the water to the St. Peter's altar, and you're going to hear massive chants of Magisamo Tutte Mute, Viva San Pedro, which is essentially like, what are we, deaf? Like, shout it louder. Viva San Pedro. There's no prize money at all for these winners either. It's just bragging rights. That's a special thing that we want to know too. And believe me, they do all the bragging they can. Everyone becomes part of Fiesta lore. We have big notable news this weekend that Derek Hopkins, the Sunday champ, is going for his 6th straight win and his 4th straight on Sundays. John will have more on that in a bit. Now, if you're new to St. Peter's Fiesta, let me give you a sense of who we are, what this is, and why we do it. We are in Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's about 35 miles north of Boston. Gloucester is the 7th oldest city in the United States. It's the first seaport in the country. It's also one of the first art colonies in the country. There's actually more artists than fishermen nowadays. But our identity has always been tied to the fishing industry. Gloucester was one of the world's largest fishing ports from the 1600s through the 1950s. In fact, we were the largest fishing port in the U.S. during World War II. Now, if you've ever heard of things like the Gordon's Fishermen or Bird's Eye Frozen Foods, that's us. That's where that all began. In fact, the Gordons of Gloucester logo is from the famous Fisherman's Memorial statue commemorating more than 10,000 Gloucester fishermen who have lost their lives at sea. Gloucester is also the setting of the TV series Wicked Tuna. You probably all remember the blockbuster The Perfect Storm with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg, as well as recent Oscar-winning film Coda. Our descendants here are from the Canadian Maritimes, Great Britain, Scandinavia, Portugal, especially the Azores, and Italy, especially Sicily. And St. Peter's Fiesta is a tradition of parading through the streets a statue of St. Peter, the patron saint of fishermen, that was brought to Gloucester in 1927 from a Sicilian immigrant named Salvatore Favazza. The entire event then was funded by the fishing fleet. And Fiesta is all about praying to and thanking St. Peter for the safety of the fishermen and abundant catches. Pavilion Beach is in the Fort neighborhood of Gloucester. It's an Italian enclave and home to St. Peter's Fiesta. And back in the day, the whole neighborhood, you'll see all kinds of shots all weekend long, they left their doors open. People could walk in and out and enjoy homemade food and wine, eat, pray, and celebrate with friends and family. By the way, we also know from our Italian friends, and John and I happen to both be Sicilian, that we know the Italian word is festa. We say fiesta. When you're surrounded by Mexicanos, you have to Americanize a few things, so that's why it is St. Peter's Fiesta, to us at least. Now, what is St. Peter's Fiesta? It's kind of like our religious version of Mardi Gras. It's all about God, fishing, family, and food. There's a 4-day carnival event, but it's preceded and encapsulated by a 9-day novena of prayer and song. There's a big altar where entertainment and religious activities take place, including a mass on Sunday. In that carnival, this is usually where everyone has their massive reunions with friends from afar. People always make their big homecomings here. You walk around with the fried dough. You get your sausage, peppers, and onion sandwich. We call it zazizia, or zazitz. Just grab a zazitz, and you make friends again and get caught up. There's all kinds of kids' games and contests happening. Sunday, of course, is the big day. There's a giant parade, a big procession throughout the Sunday, which is how this festival began back in 1927. There's also a blessing of the fishing fleet that is still feeding the community on Sunday as well. But of course, the most popular attraction for locals and visitors is the Greasy Pole and Sailboat races off of Pavilion Beach, which brings us back to John Nicastro. And how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Just setting the table for folks there.
Yep, absolutely. You did a great job.
Thank you. So welcome, everybody, to our live coverage of St. Peter's Fiesta. All weekend long, we'll be here with you, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern every day. Now, John, right off the bat, you want to go over some of our big storylines that we'll be following throughout the weekend.
Absolutely. So great job, Kory. Bona Fiesta to everybody. Welcome to the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta. There's all kinds of storylines. Like any sports, there's storylines that are current this year, storylines that are overlapping from last year. First of all, last year, there was a big storyline, Kory, with Nailgate. Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. Nobody would do anything maliciously. I know, obviously, people in the St. Peter's Fiesta committee, things would not be done maliciously. They wouldn't maliciously do something to hurt the industry. However, anyone that knows anything about the Greasy pole, they put that flag in every single year. At the end of the pole, from nailing in the flag every year, it gets a little bit mushy. There's a lot of holes at the end. Yeah. And they had to cut off the end, Kory.
It's like the end of a chewed up cigar, basically. It's just of wear and tear.
They cut off the end, put on a new end cap, pounded in that nail. However, in 2023 Friday, we had a walker, go to the end, tried to pull it down, it didn't come down. That can be coincidence, it can be whatever it is you say it. However, on Saturday, 2023, we had Ross Carlson, who was your 2012 Friday champ. His dad won it in 1995 Sunday. And anyone that knows Ross, he's like the Mike Tyson of the industry when it comes to strength. He gets to the end Superman style, 2 hands on the flag, body catapults over it, he slides down it. So now a coincidence turns into something. Then you go into Sunday, 2023. You have the Michael Jordan of the industry in Derek D. Hopkins, 5-time champion. He did the trifecta in 2019. Then we had pandemic in 20 and 21. Mm-hmm. He took it down in 22, 23. In the second round, gets to the end. Experienced flag grabber, pulls on the flag, and it doesn't come out.
Yep.
So what turned into a coincidence now comes into what people will say is Nailgate. We're going to see what happens this year on this. It's a major discussion.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
And to give folks some context, too, we've been watching this event our entire lives. We might have seen the flag stuck up there once or twice. This happened actually with our current champion, Derek Hopkins' dad, Richie. It happened back in the mid-'90s. What was interesting about this is it happened 3 days in a row. There was a delay. The Coast Guard and police come out. They have to reset the flag, and then the activities continue. So we're keeping an eye on that. Now, we know they're just 3.5-inch nails, and we talked to the grease gang out there. We can talk a little bit more about the pole. There's there's a foot of biodegradable grease out there. It's blessed. It's covered in things like apples and banana peels, like you name it.
Right.
So it's a tricky substance all the way around. But we're really looking forward to sharing all these events with you. You'll see in a minute. It's kind of crazy stuff. So also bigger storylines that we're looking for this weekend too. The men's senior Seine races are happening Sunday. Those are the finals. Chaos is looking for its 8th overall title. Now today, our opening event is going to be the women's senior Seine boat race, and Rogue are the defending champions, and they're looking for their 6th overall title. Then we're going to have the Friday Greasy pole, where that winner advances to play Sunday. Once that contest is over, we're going to have the women's junior Seine boat races, where the Lady Lukes are looking to repeat. So there's your order right there. So at 4:45 or so, the senior Seine boat races are going to happen with defending champs Rogue battling Hardcore, C''OAR, wink wink, and Power. So Hardcore and Power are going to challenge Rogue. And then in the women's junior Seine boat races, you've got the Lady Lukes defending against the Stroke Sisters and Empowered. So there is that. Great stuff all the way around. Now, a big part about this too are the weather and the tides. Play a huge part in all these festivities. It is beautiful out here today, sunny skies. It's about 68 degrees. We've got a brisk south-southeast breeze around 11 miles per hour or so. So it's actually blowing in, which means it's going to be tough for those rowers heading out. Humidity is about 48%. It's perfect out here. The water temp, about 62 degrees. When you're looking out at the pole, you're actually facing southwest. And one thing you're going to notice, it is peak high tide at 5:19 once that greasy pole gets going. There's hardly any beach to work with, so it's going to be pretty packed around us. So there is that. Now, John and I are going to be back in just a second with Ross Carlson, the 2012 Friday champion, who did have his hands on the flag last year. So he'll be sharing that story with us right after this.
Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927, so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue.
Hey Ross, and just be shoulder to shoulder to shoulder when it's okay.
It became a yearly procession, which was organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore Seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of "Chissà mutute mute." What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming "Viva San Pedro"? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for 16.
All right, and we are back here at the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta, getting ready for the Seine boat races and Greasy Pole competition. Joining me in John now is Ross Carlson. He is the 2020 Friday champion. He carries that with him forever. And competing this year, Ross?
Yeah, I'm always been telling people it's like fantasy football right now. I'd be like GTD because I've been beat up from work and all that, but I got a feeling I'll be out there tomorrow. I wake up feeling good. I'm walking, and I love it. I can't wait to be out there. There's so many great guys. I have so many great memories. Like it's one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it since I was a kid. We used to go and clean out Shaw's of the off-brand Crisco, and we would cake it up. One guy would walk a can out, and the other kid would shimmy. It was a good time out there, and I love doing it.
That's awesome. So, Ross, do you want to walk us through, well, I guess put us in your eyes when you're on the pole and what you're feeling up there?
I think in any sport, if you're not, almost creating some kind of pressure on yourself in a way, like if you don't feel like up to that moment, like, wow, I get adrenaline. I used to play darts, and I'd be like shaking at the line until I started to figure it out. But this I've been doing for a long time, but there's always that feeling. The last thing I do before I ever walk is I thank God for letting me be here today, and I also do the sign of the cross, and I usually say a little prayer. Sometimes you lost some of the year. The year I won it, he did it for Nana. I won for my grandmother, so it was like, I think that's basically my routine is I just get up there. I usually pull the towel away because I don't like it, and I just run out there like my father did in 95, as you said earlier.
Yeah.
Right. And your father was, his dad, 1995, Cliffy Carlson, a tremendous walker. He was literally a rocket ship coming out of the gate.
Yeah, like he was rounding third base.
Tell us when you're up on the pool, you're about to walk, what's going through your mind? You're about to go. It's your name, Ross Carlson.
Well, it's like the World Cup. You got to wait for it. You know what I mean? It's not the only. It's the only individual sport I've ever done. You know that. I played softball with you, John, and I'm up there. And literally, my biggest thing is I know I could do it. I feel comfortable. I told people, like I said, I'm a game time decision. But when it comes to this, I'm more confident in this than anything I've ever done in my life. Because I was swimming out there, and kids who couldn't swim, my father bought us a raft because I said Joey couldn't swim. So we had boogie boards and everything. Like, I'm thinking about that. I usually enjoy the whole thing, like the Fiesta part. I remember why I'm up there. I put it to family, and I put it in God. Like, I wouldn't have won. My father likes to say my grandfather carried him in 95, a little touch on the back, because the crowd was getting restless. But to me, I'm up there thinking about that flag. Like, I want to go in the water again with it. I did that half one last year because winning, it's not about bragging. Like, you guys say bragging rights. I just, it's nice. You become in this thing. 50 guys every year since 1927. Shout out Insight. You're in a brotherhood that's very small too. Not many people have won this over the years. Think about it. You got Peter Black's won it a million times. This guy and that guy. So that makes your list even shorter.
Yeah.
It's something to be said about what we do here. But I think if you don't forget though, my father worked the waterfront. Like that's what it's about. My mother's doing novena. That's like you did it so good on that intro. He's so right. It's about everybody in this community coming together, people who don't talk all year, running into each other. But when I'm up there, I think the one thing I'm thinking about is whoever I might be walking for that year or just getting my job done. It's like going to work. Mm-hmm. There's guys out there like me. I'm not the only one. There's a few rare breeds out there. They're not scared to fall. That's the last thing on my mind, the tide. I'm thinking about winning.
Yeah.
From the morning I wake up to when I go to bed.
So now let's talk about Ross. You won it in 2012. Your dad won it in 95. We know how much it means to you.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that, how much it means to your family. I know you, the competitor that you are.
Absolutely.
Right? Last year, you walked to the end of the pole. You are a beast when it comes to your hands. I got a text from you that night.
Yeah.
And the next day, right? What is your feelings on this so-called nail gate type thing?
Well,
Tell me what you think
like
about
again,
it.
Kory kind of hammered it home saying it was like a cigar. I understand the pole lost a few feet, which excites me because I feel like it's even closer and I got a real deal shot at it anytime I step out there. For better or worse, sickness or in health, I'm a guy you could put in your top 5 that are alive on that. But honestly, it was pungy. They replaced it. I think they put bigger nails in because they weren't sure it was going to work. I mean, I don't know if you didn't find out Friday, but, you know, that could have been a fluke. Nick got one hand on it. He buried it, though. I think that's a win all day. Nicky's my boy. He's another kid out there like a dog. He loves it.
Right.
Like, people think we're crazy. If you're not from here and you just can't quite grasp it, it's not. You don't win anything, but what you win is it's not tangible, you know?
The nail gate, the so-called nail gate thing would never be malicious, no doubt about it.
No, like you said, you
it's
nailed
not
it on
malicious,
that.
no. But it is a thing. It's a new piece of wood at the end. You got to the end. So that being said, what's your mindset? You get to the end this year, what's going to happen? You're one of the favorites on
I want to
Saturday.
win. I want to blow it off in the first round, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, that's my goal. I've been saying it all weekend. If I cannot blow it off, I've been there, took some pictures. Stewie and I have touched it. You don't win. There's all this stuff. I'm going to blast it off because I loosened it for Stevie Mills, so I'm going to loosen it for myself if I get another walk. So there's no worries about it.
Right, they can nail it back up.
That's how I feel.
Roscoe, so do you have like a strategy when you're up there? Is it a certain pace? Because we
I
see
mean,
the guys that baby step it and never really get far.
Well, you can't give away too many secrets here, but people say, "Great, Jonas." My secret's Birkenstocks all the time because I like to be grounded. I take them off. I'm always in the grass. I don't think there's any kind of crazy tricks. It's just I've done it a lot. Not when I was 18. The year I knew I was walking, I didn't go out there. But when you're a little kid, back in my day, there was a ladder. They didn't take it down. You could go up there. Coast Guard would try to spray you off with the hose. We've been through some things out there. But it's just, there's no strategy that other than I think about one foot in front of the other, just like life, realistically. I think it's staying on that pole. Some people say, look at the flag. I don't know why you'd be doing that. Look at your feet. Watch where you're going. And have a plan to get over that one clump. I'll give you that. I see a little thing. I go, nope, I'm going to make sure I avoid that, and then I get going. All right?
So let's put you on the spot.
Nothing else for free.
Let's put you on the spot today. Who's your Friday pick?
I like Mike Fagette. All the guys I grew up with, though, it's like Joe Sanfilippo. He said he might not be doing it anymore after this year. He's a fisherman, cat eyes, like that. That's what it's about. And I like to
Mike
think
Fagette.
those guys get an extra bump because it is a religious festival. And if you do believe like I believe, God on my side, on my chest, I
Mike
think
Fachette's
anything's possible on those days.
the grandson of Selvie Benson.
Right.
One of the all-time greats. 10-time champion.
Absolutely.
So, Ross, I want to ask you one last question. For the folks out there who have never been to Gloucester, have never been part of Fiesta, have never seen the Greasy Pole before, what would you tell them? What can they expect from this event?
It's honestly, it is like nothing you've ever seen, but you're going to see some falls, some slips. You're going to see some really athletic displays. It's a telephone pole. Look outside your house right now. Open your window. I'll wait a second. And then you go and you see those telephone poles. It's 40 feet up in the air, and then they cover it in grease, motor oil, bananas, like he said, apples. I grabbed the donut one year and bit it on the way to the water.
That must have tasted so good.
Yeah, it was delicious. It was a glazed donut.
That must have been
kind.
delicious. A little grease on it.
Oh, yeah, it was Crisco that year, I think. Because I'm the last one to win the grease era, and I'll leave you with this. Nat Mizuraka is the first person to ever win the Greasy Pole.
Correct.
But when they fell in the water and they built a new one, Ross Carlson won it first. And you guys
Amen.
can remember
I
that.
love it.
Thank you so much
There
for
you go,
having me.
buddy.
I
Good luck
appreciate
tomorrow.
it. Kory,
Viva,
you guys
man.
are great. Honestly, tune in every year. These guys are awesome. And there's going to be a show later on that you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right,
Good
so
luck
we'll be
tomorrow,
back.
big
Ross,
guy.
stay with us for a second.
Oh,
You're
thank
mic'd
you.
up still.
Oh, yeah,
So we're going to be
Ross,
back
I'm new
with
to this.
more, including the women's senior same boat
Love it.
finals with Nikki Parisi and Phil Francis right after this.
Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore Seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of Chissà tutte mute. What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming, Viva San Pedro? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is a story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore Seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of Chissà tutte mute. What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming Viva San Pedro? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for
All right, and welcome back to the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta. I'm your host, Kory Curcuru, alongside John Castro. Now joining us, 10-time Seine boat champion, Nikki Parisi, and 4-time Seine boat champion and 3-time co-host, Phil Francis. Buona Fiesta, folks.
Buona Fiesta. Nice to be back.
Yeah.
Nice day for it. Sun's out. A little chilly, but I think we can survive.
It's better than last year. It was really hot.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
I like last year better.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable. All right, so I guess, Nikki, we'll start with you, right? What's the first race we're going to see today, and how do we get to this point?
All right, we're going to see the women's race, and it's a little bit different this year. It's always been pretty much 3 teams that have always dominated and gone into the big race, and this year there's only one of those original crews there. That's Rogue, who has 5 championships already. So it's going to be a good race. The other crews, the Power and Hardcore, they're both out there kicking ass this year, so it's going to be a really, really good race.
Yeah, we should set the table too. So there have been elimination races going on for the past week or so.
Yep.
So how does that exactly work out?
So the eliminations, all of the crews go in on Friday, and they have on last Sunday, and they have 2 heats of 3 boats each, and the 2 winners of the heats go against last year's champs.
Okay. So, and Phil, I want to bring you in. You see what the conditions are today. That wind's coming in now. So what can the rowers expect to go up against?
I think this is going to be a steerers race. It's definitely going to be a steerers race. We have a wind it's a crosswind. The steerers want to go a little high so they don't get blown to the right. But we're going to find out. And you really only have one experienced steerer in this race. That would be Mike Harmon. So I think you've got to give Rogue a little bit of advantage. They're the champs. They've been there before. Mike's got multiple.
So I got to interrupt you already, but I hate to do this to you. But Power Oar does have Timmy Oakes coming in. So, and that's arguably the best steerer in Chaos history. Him or Joe Balbo. Phil's easily a third.
Now you can see our
Phil's
lineups
the
here.
best. Phil's the original Captain Chaos. Don't forget that. Right here.
Oh, yeah. Besides Phil.
Timmy Oakes
Timmy Oakes,
Phil.
Good steerer, great steerer.
We're not going to get into this debate already. Phil's easily the 3rd best steerer in Chaos history. Joe, no doubt, and Timmy Oakes, close first. Phil's anyone could have steered the boat.
So we're going to start this, right?
Anyone could have steered the boat.
Thank God I'm in between the 2 of you.
No. And remember, it's not an industry, it's a sport, okay? Just want to remind you of that.
Phil.
Oh, and the nailgate stuff, I thought
We're
that
inviting
died.
him back.
And the nailgate, I thought that died last year with your apology to one of the members of the Fiesta Committee.
Here we go.
No, we won't get into that.
And we're off.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so
I love Phil, my cousin Phil.
So Nikki, how intimately do you know these crews and the rowers for this first race?
Well, the last year's champs Rogue, we know them pretty well because we've raced against them 100 times, and they are undoubtedly one of the best crews, women's crews.
Yeah.
The other 2 crews, I really don't know them that well. I know some of the people, but I will say that the Hardcore, those girls have been out since March on the gig boats a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And they've really been working really hard at it. So they looked really good on Sunday.
And I wouldn't underestimate Jimmy T in anything he does.
Nope.
He's a competitor, no doubt about it. And power or, I see some names of former softball players like Coach that are just great athletes and athletes on boats with strength. And I mean, who would be your pick today?
I don't want to say.
Oh, playing it safe.
I have a feeling that hardcore might take it, but I'm not picking sides.
I will say that Power Oil pulled that upset last week when they beat Backlash. Backlash had how many championships did they have? 2 or 3?
Backlash is
4, right?
No.
Something like that.
3 or 4.
3 or 4, something like that.
Three.
So Power Oil, I think, out of the 2 crews, besides Rogue, I think Power Oil is the one you want to watch out for. They already pulled the upset last week. They rode great last week. I was shocked myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocked. I think they put it together.
But like you said too, I think it all depends on the scuttler.
Steerers are going to have this. I mean, it's a choppy day. A choppy day, and it's a steerers race, not a rowers race.
Yeah. So, Nikki, if we turn around here, what exactly is going on now? Are the crews warming up?
The crews are probably just getting ready to leave the dock. They've probably been there for about 2 hours, sweating to death, with nerves, going to the bathroom, and now they're probably getting ready to come around the corner. Once they get here, it'll take them a while to kind of line themselves up so that it has to be a perfectly even start. And I know there's one of them that won't start right away, not saying who. But
and what we mean by that is, at the very start of the race, you obviously have 10 rowers, then you have the coach, and you have the scuttler who's steering the boat. There'll be an official in the water that will be looking at the boats to see when the coach puts their hands up. When each boat puts their hands up, the race starts. Okay, so some coaches, it's a cat and mouse game. Some coaches will not put their arms up. You're not going to put your arms up until you feel that it's at least even or you have a lead. Then those 10 oars, when they start, have to act as one oar. And how important is all 10 oars acting as one?
If you don't have all 10 oars going in and out at the same time, hack it up. You have to. This is going to have to be a perfect race for whoever wants to win this.
So, Phil, right off the start, so the basic rules of the Seine boat race, right? We start at the beach. You're chasing a flag a half mile out there, right? You want to take it from there?
Well, you have your start, okay? And there's a lot that goes in the start. Nikki can attest that. She's actually been in a boat. Some people haven't, so they don't really know. You want to have your bowmen. They want to keep the boat moving, so they're kind of what we call butterflying their oars. It's kind of advancement now more. We take more of a stroke. What you don't want is you don't want to be going backwards. That's where you run into problems. The boat won't start, or you might snap an oar. It's happened in the past. We want to start with maybe 4 or 5 middle strokes to get the boat moving, and you slowly fall into your stroke. Once you get right on past the greasy pole, that's when your coach, your coxswain or your coach, is like a jockey. He's going to ask you if he wants 10. He wants to look at where the other boat is too. All 3 crews are going to jockey with each other. A lot of times you can hear what the other coach is saying. So if he asks for 10, you're going to ask for 10. If he tells them to just lay down, you're going to do the same thing. You want to try to pull away. In today's race, with the wind coming down, the steerers will want to go high in the oar, which means far to the left, because the wind's going to be blowing you back to that course. When you get to the flag, it's a little bit different than it used to be in the old boats, and I've learned that over the years. You want to start your turn a little bit more wider, especially since the flags now are so close together. You don't want to collide with the other boat. Once you get around that flag, if you have the lead, you shouldn't lose, because adrenaline takes over. I've seen it. The other night I raced, we were close, but the other boat had about a half a boat lead on us after the turn, and they just pulled away. The adrenaline took over.
And you can see now, folks, that the greasy pole walkers are costumed up and making their way out to the platform right now. We're getting ready for the women's senior sailboat finals. Nikki, I want to ask you, what exactly goes into the training for this?
Well, when I first started, there was no training. You had like 3 days before an elimination race for everybody to get in the boat, have a practice, and then you had an elimination race. Now they're training year round, and it's awesome. Like I said, a lot of girls have joined the gig rowers, so they can use their boats year round. Some girls are doing the dories, and just a lot of work in the gyms. I think most importantly is to build up your cardio, because you have the biggest, strongest people there, but once if they fall apart, they can't breathe anymore. They slow down, and it's bad. That happens after the turn all the time. People just start falling apart.
So, you know what's been awesome following the eliminations over the past week and being able to do this now for a few years like we have, is the camaraderie amongst the rowers, even the competitors against each other. That sisterhood, that brotherhood that happens, they all sort of mention it. You see them on social media, you talk to them in person, and that's by far the most important part about participating in this event.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be able to do it, and I've made great friends. A lot of the crews are just like little families now. They stay together. So that makes a huge difference too, by staying together for a long time, getting to know it, getting the rhythm, and trusting your crew.
Yeah, Phil, you've been doing this for decades and decades. So what's it mean to you? And tell us about that brotherhood.
The brotherhood is important. It's great when guys come up to you, guys you rode with, guys you rode against, you know they've won a championship, you've won a championship, and it's always, how you doing, champ? It's not how you doing, Phil, or how you doing, Ray, it's always how you doing, champ. And it feels good when they say that. I mean, I came from a family that a lot of my uncles won before, and when I finally got in that class, I mean, it brings a smile to your faces. And I started in 1975, so, I mean, I've been around it forever, but I've made great friendships. And Nikki can attest to that. The Staying Alive crew I was with in '98, we're still tight to this day. We had so much fun that year. And that's what it was about. After we won, we had some of the greatest parties of all time. And everybody was invited. It wasn't just our crew. You invited everybody, all the other crews, and it stays that way. There's a lot of breaking of the, but it's all in jest, and there's a lot of fun. I mean, Vincent Lando could be one of the funniest people. He's come up with some of the greatest lines of all time. And Jack Anderson, another guy I won with. It's always high champ. It's just, you really don't know what it's about unless you've actually done it.
We're going to get things started off here today.
So
the 2024 Women's Sailboat Championship.
I still haven't seen. Oh, there you go. Now I can see the Seines out there now. So now we're in the moats. We have to sort of move this flotilla around, get some of these boats out of the lanes.
I don't know why. I have no idea why these boats get in the lane knowing that they have to be moved out.
I remember the schooner cut through the lane last year. That was impressive.
Each boat is manned by 10 rowers and a scuttler who steers and turns the boat.
Yeah, so you see that we're competing with the loudspeaker here. Those are the Fiesta crew that's announcing this for the beachgoers. We'll have upwards of like 10,000 plus people all around the Fiesta, from the carnival down to the beach, along the boulevard, enjoying these events. And then, of course, you're going to hear all the chaos out in the water today, too. The flotilla of boats strung up with each other. People are partying. We've been waiting all year for this, and these events are great. Another thing that popped into my mind was how awesome the races were last year. I actually thought the standout thing, other than the flag not coming down 3 days in a row, which was just such a weird thing to see, those races were so tight, every single contest.
Every race last year. I remember the junior girls race was unbelievable. The senior men's race until the last 100 yards was a great race. It's a testament to the hard work that the young kids, the women, and the men put into them. To be behind and still coming and still coming. It's definitely a testament to the hard work that they put in. and the spirit that they have in their hearts to do what they do.
Yeah. So, Nikki, I want to hear from you. What, at this moment, before you've actually begun, what's going through your mind, the rower's mind, as you're preparing? You see everyone. Are you even notice the crowd on the beach?
The first thing I always look for was my daughters. If my daughters weren't on the beach, I couldn't relax. I needed to see my kids. And then after that, you're sitting there, and it's just like, sit ready, sit ready, sit. You're just waiting, and you're shaking, and you're sweating, and everything's shaking. And then once the arms go up, the adrenaline takes off, and you're gone.
All right, folks, so if you're just tuning in, you are watching the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta Greasy Pole and Sailboat races live from Pavilion Beach in Gloucester. We're getting ready for the women's senior sailboat finals. So you'll see we have 3 boats out there, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. They're going to start right here at the beach. They are racing out towards a red, white, and blue flag a half mile out. They circle the flag, and then the first boat that hits the beach is declared the winner. The winner gets an Italian flag. They hoist an Italian flag. Second place is the American flag. No, I have that reversed.
American
First
flag.
place is the American flag. Second place is the Italian flag.
But there's been a couple years that they have not brought the flags down.
Right.
So,
right.
However, I did see my friend Leanne walking down the street with the flag in her hand, so I can guarantee you there'll be an American flag here anyway.
So now, Phil and Nikki, do you know which crews are in which boats and which lanes right now?
That is Power.
That's Power. Is it the Pinta? Okay, so let's do this. Let's take a quick break right now, and we'll come back with the women's senior sailboat races right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard as we set sail on a journey through time to celebrate the courageous fishermen and the rich history of Gloucester, Massachusetts. It's a tale of trials, triumphs, and an unyielding spirit that has shaped this coastal gem. Imagine, if you will, a Gloucester 400 years ago, a rugged frontier where English settlers first laid eyes on this untamed land, a place where brave fishermen faced relentless challenges, from tempestuous seas to treacherous shores, all in the name of providing for their families. But let's fast forward to today, where Gloucester stands as a testament to its heritage, shaping the city's vibrant culture. This year, our wonderful city celebrated its 400th year established. Their traditions and resilience continue to influence the character of this seaside town, from its lively festivals to its deep-rooted sense of community, fostering a spirit that is as timeless as the sea itself. Gloucester has become a hub of culture, hosting events such as the Indigenous Heritage Festival, the Schooner Fest, and the Fishing Heritage Festival, all honoring the brave people who made Gloucester what it is today. And now let us drift back in time once more, to an era when Gloucester was a bustling maritime haven, a place where the spirit of adventure was as abundant as the ocean's treasures, and the courage of its people was unmatched. Those were the glory days. Gloucester's history is a tapestry woven with the threads of countless lives and dreams, a place where bravery met the boundless sea, and where hope shone as bright as a lighthouse beacon. Gloucester, you're not just a city, you're a symbol of triumph over adversity, a testament to the unyielding human spirit, and a beacon of hope for generations to come. As we reflect on your storied past and its profound influence on the present-day city we see today, we stand in awe of the enduring legacy you continue to share with the world. Thank you, Gloucester, and here's to 400 more years of celebrating tradition, heritage, and the sea.
All right, and we're back getting ready for the women's senior sailboat finals. I'm Kory Curcuru alongside Nikki Parisi. We did some switching around now. We needed different microphones. John Nicastro and Phil Francis. Nikki and Phil have a combined 14 sailboat titles. They're going to be guiding us through these races today. So why don't we turn around and watch the lanes here. John, can you give us the lineups here?
Yeah, so we have you're going to have the red flag to the left, and that's going to be the champs, which is Rogue in the Santa Maria. In the boat, you have Mike Harmon, the scuttler, Kristen Burnham, the coach of the coxswain, Alex Rose, Jamie McDonald, Karen Conant, Lavette Luton, Jenny Davis, Whitney Buckley, Alexandra Russo, Melanie Catanzo, Christina Ribeiro, Emily Silva. In the middle, you're going to have the white flag in the Pinta. You have Timmy Oakes, the scuttler, Rebecca Favaza, the coach of Coxswain, Olivia Lejeune, Lila Olson, Emily Burl, Willow Phoenix, Elizabeth DeAngelis, Olivia Durgan, Taylor Frost, Lindsay Sones, Jessica Correo, and Caroline Morocco. I'm going to let you announce your pick. In the Nina, the blue flag.
Hardcore, Jimmy Tarantino, scuttler. Suzanne Claren is the coxswain, Cindy Perry, Sarah Bauer, Stephanie Ragusa, Laura Kluwer, Stephanie O'Neill, Alex Sullivan, Donna First, Leora Ulrich, Nessa Bauman, and Gina Brigulio.
All right. So now what exactly, Nikki, is happening at this moment here with all the rowers?
Well, they're just waiting for the other crew to come in, I guess. I've seen 2 of the boats. I haven't seen the third one.
So we have Rogue, 5-time champion, going for their 6th. Phil, do you have a pick today with the senior women's race?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Rogue, but it's not going to be a cakewalk for them. I think Power Oar can stay with them. Power Oar has been, they've been together for a couple of years, and what I didn't know is they made the addition of Timmy Oakes as the steerer. Paulie Favaza was the steerer, but did Paulie get hurt or something like that? Or did he just try to switch to a better steerer? Timmy's a very, very good steerer. Timmy knows the game. The one thing now I think that you have an advantage with, whoever has the blue flag is going to have a little bit of advantage because the flags are so close together that whoever has the blue flag doesn't have to worry about turning that flag and colliding with anyone. That's one of the things a lot of people are worried about now, steering the flags, is they have to worry about an outcoming boat. But I think Timmy knows what he's doing. Mike Harmon knows what he's doing. I got to give them the advantage right now as far as winning the race is going to go Rogue, and I think Power Oar is going to be right on their rear end. I really think they're going to be there. I think Power Oar, they've improved a lot over the last 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
They've absolutely improved.
I mean, it's pretty much an entirely different crew than what they started with way back. They've had a lot of changes in the crew, but they look good.
Yeah. So I go back with one, Rebecca French, when she originally started rowing, 2011. I was with her and a few of these girls on the boat. They made the improvement, and they made an improvement at steerer, adding Timmy Oakes. That's a huge addition.
Here we are, 2024 Fiesta. We have Rogue, the defending champs, and the Santa Maria going for the red flag. In the middle will be Power Oar and the Pinta going for the white flag. And into the right will be Hardcore in the Nina going for the blue flag. They're about to line up now. Who's going to be your 2024 champion? And Phil, steering a boat, we know, is the quarterback of this team. Steering the boat is, Phil, walk us through steering the boat.
Steering a boat is, you have to have a certain mentality, first of all. You can't be right in the head when you're steering a boat, because a lot of people don't succeed at steering a boat because they're worried about falling overboard. I do it. I don't know, the first time I ever did it, I just loved it. It's just a different mentality. It's not rocket science, but it takes a certain mentality. You have to have a crew that has all their confidence in you. If you're not confident in your steerer, then you're going to have problems in the boat. I think when I was doing it, I instilled confidence in the crew. So, I mean, it's just a different mentality.
So you can see that the third crew has arrived. They're out beyond the greasy pole.
And I want to say something. I feel that these girls should be rowing on Sunday, and I did talk to someone on the committee that said they think it's going to happen next year. I feel the senior championship for the women's should be on Sunday. Right? I know this is Friday's great, every day's great, but Championship Sunday, there's nothing like it.
I agree 100%.
I feel like they should be on Sunday. What do you think?
I never thought about it, but yeah, I like it.
You know, in some way, I can agree with that. But in some ways I can disagree because you want the women to have their own day to themselves.
Okay, well
That's
there's
why
nothing wrong with that either.
That's why I like them rolling up Friday. It's the opening of Fiesta. People are coming down in droves for the first night of Fiesta. And I just think they deserve to have their own day to themselves. I've always been an advocate of women's rowing. Rowed with a lot of women's crews. Had so much fun. Made so many friends. We had a ball that year. We won. We won together. What was it, 2006 or whatever? And we were unexpected. We weren't expected to win. We were a big underdog that year.
Viewers never would have guessed that, by the way. The two of you got along, rode together, and won together?
Oh, me and Nick, we had a ball. We had a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite pictures. I still have the picture from when we won. But I just think they deserve their own day.
You know what else is cool about having Friday night is when it first started, there'd be maybe just our families would be on the beach to watch us. There wasn't anybody here. And now look around. I mean, yeah, it's high tide, but this beach is packed, and that's pretty awesome.
And you also look at, like, well, you can't see it, but for people that know Fort Playground, it almost looks like a Sunday vibe. You know, like you see, there's a lot of people in Fort Playground. I mean, it's a huge crowd, and like to say what you're saying is the crowd. I remember Friday crowds were never this big, and I think it's more because of people are into the senior women's rowing.
And you know what? This might be a little inside baseball, but Friday's actually the most watched day of all the days. And that's probably because people might still be working, the locals and whatnot, but also we're getting more and more attention outside of the area. They've truly discovered Gloucester, discovered Cape Ann, discovered the Fiesta and these events, and they've seen the competition up close and personal now. So that might be a big difference too.
I think the most important thing that's happened in the women's race is for 6 or 7 years, it was one crew that dominated, and they were winning big. But now no one dominates. There's equal talent in all the boats. It's become very, very competitive. There's more women rowing. And now the junior girls, we have that feeder program where some of the older women are going to retire, but you have those other girls coming up now. Like I said, the best race of the weekend last year was that junior girls race. That was bang, bang. That was, less than a quarter of a boat. So.
National anthem, quick.
I don't want to say nothing about the choice of the national anthem. Oh my God, we could have had Whitney Houston.
I have to agree for Phil the first time, but of course he's going to find a complaint in the national anthem. Why would he not?
Right or wrong, come on.
All right, so we're getting ready for the race. It's going to be hard to hear each other, so I'm going to let Nikki, John, and Phil sort of take over. Just remind, if you need to turn around and look at the screen here too, we'll have the boats identified and following. We have a great drone. Keith Palazzola's got the drone going for us today. So it's an awesome view. Yeah. So again, they're starting at the beach. They're going a half mile out around a flag. There's a red, white, and blue lane. They turn that, they circle the flag, and the first to reach the beach wins. And so we're going to leave you with Nikki Parisi, John Nicastro, and Phil Francis.
The champs are ready.
So we have, to the left, you have the defending champs, Rogue and the Santa Maria going for the red flag. The rowers in the back are going to be taking their little strokes, kind of acting as like Fred Flintstone running in place to get the car going. They're trying to get the boat going. Take us through how important they are getting those little strokes in.
You have to have some momentum going. If you're just dead in the water and you start, you're not going to move anytime. You need to be moving that little bit, and then just hope everybody gets in sync on the start.
Yeah, for the people watching at home, when the boats line up, watch the bow rowers. You're going to see the bow rowers. They're going to be taking in strokes to keep the boat moving. You don't want the boat dead stop, because that's when you run into problems. The three crews are going to line up. You might see a little chicanery from the captains. I don't think you'll see it right here, because there are certain people that like to fool around. They want to get a lead at the start. I think this race is going to start real fast.
I mean, the past few years, it's been more than just the bow. Both the back two seats.
Yeah, some people have been using 4 people.
You can't say
what
anything
you see
if they're
right
all
now
doing
on the
it.
screen is the crew on the right is trying to force the other crews over, because he doesn't like his lane right now. But I think his lane is perfect.
So you see right now on the screen, you see Jimmy Tarantino is the scuttler. He's kind of saying something to the other scuttlers. What are you saying, Phil?
He wants them to move over because he doesn't like his course. But you really can't ask them to move over because they like their course. I think Jimmy's worried about the boats that are in the lane right now coming home, and I think he's worried about the boats in his lane blocking his homeward lane.
So Phil, right? So Jimmy T to the boat to the right. Okay, say you're in one of the boats to the left, and he asks you to move over. If you like your course, are you going to move over?
No. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, where I see him lined up, if he's having that problem, I'm going to try to force him over. I'm going to try to get as much of an edge as I can. I'm not saying I'm going to cheat, but it's part of the game. I've done it before. I've forced boats over. That's part of the game. That's life.
Yep.
All right, so they're lined up right now.
Here we go. Wait for the arms to go up. Looks like Jimmy's ready.
They're lined up. The defending champs to the left, Rogue. In the middle, Power Or in the Pinta. Into the right, Hardcore in the Nina. All 3 boats are lined up.
And they're all feathering.
They're feathering in the back. The bowmen are feathering. You can see them feathering now.
Yep. Jimmy has 4 rowers going.
Just saying.
Boat in the middle's got a half a boat lead right now. They're going to be backwatering. You watch.
Yeah, that's going to...
Yeah, they're going to bring them back now. It's too far out.
I think Jimmy
Now they're going to have to turn around and come back
Jimmy T in the Nina to the right. I think he had literally 8 of his rowers rowing. I like it.
I can tell you the big mistake Jimmy T's making right now is he's looking over those 2 boats. That's not his job. His coach, the coach in his boat, that's her job. His job is to have his head straight on. Because if he's worrying about them, then he doesn't know if his boat's going side to side with his 2 bow rowers going at the same time. But that's an experience. He's an inexperienced steerer. He'll learn that in the long run.
Well, he went to the safety course.
I won't even go into that.
Oh, we're going there later, Phil.
Later.
We're going there.
Trust me, Sunday night I'll have my commentary on that.
But this is a big race for every boat. But for Jimmy T to be going up against 2 of the best scuttlers in the industry, Timmy Oakes and Mike Harmon, if they can pull this out, it's not only a big win for the boat, but it's a big win for him as a scuttler. To be the best, you got to beat the best, and it's that easy.
And then we'll have to listen to him about that too.
Well, we're going to make one correction too, people. It's not an industry, it's a sport. It's not an industry, it's a sport.
Folks out there in the real world might recognize Jimmy Tarantino as a contestant on Survivor. That actually happened.
And he was amazing. It was great to watch.
We won't even go there either.
All right.
You guys, you could not have a better vantage point. We are literally on the beach. Our ankles are almost in the water here.
Oh, yeah, this is beautiful. We got all the smells of Fiesta, sausage, beer, a few other things.
They're lined up. Here we go.
All right.
The champs are to the left, Rogue. In the Santa Maria. In the middle's the Pinta. To the right. To the right. Hardcore. Coach, their hands are up. Oh, they pulled the hands down. They're lined up, ready to go. The bow's feathering. Getting the boats ready. You'll see the bowmen feathering, getting the little momentum going. When you're in motion, it's easier to start. And it looks like they're going to be pulled back again. The champs to the left already have a boat and a half lead. They're almost at the flags.
Again, it's part of the game. It's going to happen. They might try. They might line up 5 times. Oh, what's going on?
We can barely hear you guys. we're being heckled by the
Coach
the guys
football.
on the loudspeakers.
My Gumbari Tommy Favazzo over there, Greasy Pole champion, who does a tremendous job putting that pole together. Tremendous job. Right, John?
He does do a good job, absolutely. The whole St. Peter's committee does a great job. Joe Novello is the leader behind it all, and there's a lot of people there in the St. Peter's committee that do a phenomenal job, and you got to give them props. The work that they put in is year-round, and that's real. They put in so much work to this event. It's incredible. People think it just gets pulled together in a day or two. No, it's literally, it starts Monday for next year, and that is real. The hands are up to the right.
Yeah, because they have a lead.
They're up.
They got half a boat.
Her hands are up because she sees both boats going backwards. I love it. This is amazing. Hardcore to the right with her hands up.
But the road coach is being kind of a little pain.
So we got to the right. Her hands went down. Kristen Burnham to the left with the champs. Hands up. To the right. Hands up. We're waiting for the middle boat. Power Hardcore to put their hands up.
No.
Jimmy T says
Oh, yeah.
no.
Power Oar. To the left, the champs. In the middle, Power Oar. To the right, Hardcore.
You can tell the competition's here.
Looks
They're
like
not going to let another boat
No.
get an inch.
There we go. They're pulling it back. Would you give any form of a lead to another boat? I mean, I don't care if it gets pulled back 10 times. They deserve this.
Yeah, you go back and forth as many times as you have to until everybody's satisfied with it.
I mean, they work so hard all year for this one race right now.
Sometimes it's a little game too.
Yeah,
like they'll
yeah.
just play a game to try
Absolutely.
to psych the other crews out. Yeah, because
The hands
he has
are up
half
to
a
the
lead,
right.
Half a boat lead.
Hardcore hands are up to the right. To the right, we have Hardcore. Their hands are up, ready to go. Waiting on Power Oar in Rogue. They're coming back again. They're almost at the greasy pole. They're going to pull it back.
No, I don't think they're going to pull it back. I think they're just going to try to get them
Let's
lined
just
up and
say
go.
the coach in the middle boat is the one right now that's playing games.
They're backwatering.
They were. If it's only a difference in 2 feet between the boats, you should start the race.
How about you lose by 2 feet, Phil? Then what?
We're going to bring them back.
Like I said, if there's only a 2-foot difference, you should start the race. But then again, I've been there. I know some people haven't, right, Nikki?
Get things officially started.
This is the most stressful part of the race. And then coming
That
out of the flag.
anticipation. That anticipation.
It's just the nerves are just killing you right now, and you want it to start.
I would be losing my mind right now because I'm the type of guy who likes to come over, line up, and let's go. Because the longer it takes, the longer the drier your mouth gets, you get nervous, you get nervous, you get nervous. The rowers kind of are settled in right now, but as a steerer, I used to be a nervous wreck getting ready for this race. I had to wait till that first stroke till I got it out of my system.
Look at the media news coverage above us. Couple helicopters, drones everywhere.
Oh, wow. There is.
They're lining up again.
All right, we're getting closer.
So again,
What they should do is bring them all the way back to the beach.
Start over.
Bring them all the way back to the beach and start over. They're starting way too far out there with the chicanery they're trying to pull. They should come back all the way back to the beach and then start again. That way, if they flow out, they're not near the greasy pole.
okay, here we go. Lined up again. You got the champs to the left in the Santa Maria Rogue, 5-time champ. In the middle, you have the Pinta Power Oar. To the right, you have Hardcore in the Nina.
Here we go.
There they go, and they're off.
They're off.
There they go. All 3 boats going. Rogue came out like all 3 boats. Great starts. All 3 boats, and that's how quickly it can get started. All 3 boats.
Now remember, right now it's choppy out there, so what we see right now is not what we're going to see out near the flags. It's a little choppy. You got boats crossing, crisscrossing. It's going to be a nasty out here. This is going to be a steerless race.
So it looks like the middle boat, Power Ore and the Pinta, came out with a lead. It looks like the Pinta came out and took the lead right away.
With them, though.
The Pinta came out like a rocket ship. Yep, so you have Power Ore in the middle.
John, are you looking at her shot right now?
Came out with about a half a boat lead.
That is gorgeous right there.
It's a long race. It's a half a mile back. They'll turn the flag, and a half a mile out, turn the flag, half a mile back.
And it take, Nikki, you say it take about 15 minutes or so?
It shouldn't.
Okay.
No. Hopefully 11 to 12 minutes.
Okay. I didn't know if the wind blowing in today.
With it being really high tide and the wind maybe, but it should be about a 12-minute race.
Open up the lead about 3/4.
So you have in the middle, you have Power Ore with about a half a boat lead. The champs to the left.
She's just got to keep them going like that. They don't want to just burn out.
Maybe open up to a boat. This is a surprise.
This is a huge surprise, but they're not even halfway out there, so anything can happen.
But they're pulling away. They're opening up. They got a full boat lead right now.
So you got a full boat lead by the Pinta in the middle. So, and when you get to the flag, we got Timmy Oakes turning that boat, and you know there's not going to be a mistake there.
Nope. Not with Tim.
You know
and
something,
not with,
Nikki?
not with Mike Harmon
They got open water between them and them right now. They got about a boat and a quarter lead. Boat and a quarter right now, and opening more. This is a shocker.
This is really a shock.
Boat and a half. A boat and a half. They might be up by 2 boats by the time they get to the flag.
Honestly, I have always wanted to see the same boats just like this. What a
this
shot!
Is awesome. They have a 2-boat lead right now.
It's all going to come down to the
that
turn.
flag 2 boats ahead, and the race will be over. This is a shock. In fact, right now, the other crew is in second place, and the champs are in last place right now.
Yeah.
They're just blowing them out. They're blowing them out of the water. Stunned
I'm
by
speechless.
this. It's a great performance. And they're coming up on a flag too.
Wow, Power Ore and the Pinta going for the white flag with about a boat and a half lead.
It looks like Hardcore's making a move right now.
Power Ore in the Pinta going for the white flag with about a boat and a half to 2-boat lead. Hardcore in the Nina. Rogue going for the red flag in the Santa Maria to the left. The defending champs are in trouble.
If you actually look at it, they really have a 3-boat lead because you have the boat itself, you have the boat in between, and then you have the boat length of the other boat. So they have to make up 3 boats to catch them. They actually have a 3-boat lead right now.
They have the white flag, right? They're coming up on it.
Power Ore and the Pinta
nice
going for
too.
the white flag.
It's got a really good course.
And they're rowing solid right now. They're not holding back. They're not holding back. They're opening up because they know they don't want them close after the turn.
Nope. No, they want to come out of that turn strong and just keep that going.
You know what Timmy's going to do? Timmy's got this big lead. He's just going to get them around. Make no mistakes. Just get them around.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to whip it around.
It all depends on his turn. Hopefully they don't exhaust themselves going up. They still have to come back.
They have a legit 3-boat lead right now.
The Pinta with a 2-boat lead.
Up on that flag pretty soon. Where is Rogue? Yeah, he's dead on. Actually, Mike's on his flag too, pretty good.
Jimmy's got a beautiful course going out. You want to go wide in this, especially with the lead now. If you want to go wide, you want to avoid the boat that's coming out behind you.
So we got Power Or and the Penta going for the white flag, up by about 2 boats. Santa Maria going for the red flag, the defending champs.
Right now.
And to the right, the Nina in the blue.
They got a 4-boat lead right now. A legit 4-boat lead.
It's going to be more than that because Jimmy's going sideways.
Good feet on to the flag. They got a 2-boat lead.
Yeah, so Jimmy must have been off course a little bit because he was going sideways for a second.
I knew Jimmy was going to have a little bit of a problem because it's choppy out there.
But they're turning. They're turning that boat.
They're turning 4 boats ahead of them.
How many strokes?
They're absolutely blowing them out of the water.
Jimmy T's heading into it as well.
Look at Jimmy T's in second place.
It's going to be the team that has the endurance coming home. That's what it's going to be.
Come on, Oaksy, get it around. See, Timmy
Timmy's
wasn't worried. He wasn't
turn.
worried about cutting it. He just wanted to make sure there was no mistakes and get it around.
Yeah.
He wanted his bow speed coming
And they're
around.
coming back in.
This race is over.
There they come.
Yeah, this race was over
Right,
half
Jimmy's
a
coming
mile.
out of the turn 2. Hardcourt's coming out. Rogue starting their turn.
What a race.
This is
They rode a great
really,
race.
really a great race.
They're up by 4 boats right now. They
Very
might end up
exciting.
winning by
Very
5
shocking.
or 6. Very impressed. Very impressed.
Yes.
Like I said, I thought Rogue was the favorite, but I felt that this crew could race with them. It was just the opposite. Rogue couldn't race with them.
Well, it's not over. It's not over.
It's over.
It's not over.
They're up
We've seen
they're up
crazier things
they're up by
happen.
4 boats. Unless they get hit by a
Never
torpedo.
underestimate
Unless
Rogue.
they get hit by a torpedo, it's over.
I know, but never underestimate. But they are amazing. All right.
And they're opening it up.
They just have to keep going. They need to lay on it.
Look at the TV. It's over.
All right, so yeah.
They're opening it up. They might win. They might legitimately win this by 6 or 7 boats if they keep rowing hard.
Now they're just dying to hear the greasy pole.
Oh yeah.
Where's the greasy pole?
No. Right now, they're dying for their first beer on the beach.
They want to see the island,
Yeah.
and then they want to hear the greasy pole.
Yeah.
And then everything you have, you give it
Very
then.
impressive win by these ladies.
It's not over.
Remember, if you're on the edge of the beach,
It's history. Put it in the books. And you know what's great about this? A certain person rows on Rogue. We'll talk about that Sunday. I love seeing it.
Let me just draw attention to this, though.
It's called karma.
Phil, let me
Let it
just
go.
draw attention to this.
No, I'm not.
Phil picked Rogue,
They have
and they
a
get
really
and they're losing,
big
Phil. So
lead.
don't make it seem like you picked this one.
No, but I felt that the other crew could stay with them. Listen.
I mean, there hasn't been a lead like that. in
You
years.
said the coach Rebecca Favazza was playing games, and that's like what she does.
She did a great job.
So now you're saying she does a good job.
Obviously, she did.
What her games worked
Do you
out.
really want to go
You
here?
wanna play games.
Do you really want to
You
go
wanna
here?
try to psych them out.
Experience in Seine boats? Do you really want to challenge me on experience in Seine?
Well, you haven't won one since '79, and you count one of the ones you got hurt when Joe Belbo won it. You won 3, and you count the
ladies.
Coast Guard when you beat the
Awesome.
Coast Guard. You can't count these titles. You have
What's
3
great
titles in
about
50
this-
years. Do you think that matters?
This is why people ask me how I
It's
can
great
do this.
because
You have
all
3
the other
titles in
teams-
50 years.
This is why people ask me how.
Let's focus on these girls and not make it about you.
Watch the race.
It's not about me. You started it. That's what I'm trying to do.
It's just great to see new blood winning races now. It's
Yeah,
not
it
going to
is.
be the
It
same
is.
3
And
crews
they rode-
every
and
year.
They rode a great
And so
race.
that's good.
There's multiple softball players that I coached on this crew, Power Or. The softball training
Yeah.
came into play, no doubt.
So, Phil, Nikki, would this be considered a runaway victory?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a blowout.
Yes. I haven't seen a race like this in years. That, with this much distance. Usually they're really, really close races right down to the beach.
Especially the champs.
Especially the champs. That's why I was saying don't ever rule them out, but yeah.
And it's just not a regular, like yourself, you have 10 titles, they have 5. So this isn't just like a one-hit wonder. This is a legit crew.
Yeah, no, they've been the crew of the decade, pretty much, between them and Rachel Cecilio's crew. They've dominated the past couple of years. Holy cow! This
They only
is
have 9 more to
amazing.
go. They only have 9 more to go to catch you.
3 of mine are coaching.
It doesn't
I
matter.
only
There's
have
still
7
titles though.
rowing. And just a little tidbit that nobody's mentioned ever. Audacious has more wins than any crew, including men's.
Woo! Wow, that's impressive.
So,
Champ.
sadly, there may be good reason why I kind of don't want Rogue to win, because I don't want them getting closer. But they're all great girls, and they're awesome athletes, and they've kicked my butt a few times. So this is awesome.
Here they come. Power Ore
Let's go, ladies.
in the Pinta.
Bring it home.
Power Ore in the Pinta.
Power Ore. They just,
Your
they own this
2024
race. Owned it from beginning to
champions.
end.
Power Ore.
Power Ore. Tim Oakes, Rebecca Favaza, Olivia Lejeune, Leela Olsen, Emily Burl, Willow Phoenix, Elizabeth DeAngelis, Olivia Durgan, Taylor Frost, Lindsay Soames, Jessica Carraro, and Carolyn Morocco. Whoa!
Wow, your 2024 champions, Power Ore with a major
Second place
upset
is
over
going
Rogue.
to Rogue.
It wasn't.
And
It was a
respectable
6-boat
race
lead.
with Jimmy T's crew
win.
as well. Very nice.
Your 2024 Senior Division Women's Champions, Power Ore.
They are so happy.
Wow.
I love it.
Great job, ladies. Great job.
You watch now. They
Wow.
won. They can all jump up and be alive. The other 2 crews are going to be.
You can see the other boats
You
coming
don't
in,
feel it
clapping
when you
for them.
win.
The other boats clapping for them.
They should.
Love it, yeah.
Like I said, everybody wants to win, but you're still happy for the other crews, of course.
They're helping us put on these sporting events here at Pavilion Beach for the St. Peter's Fiesta. All right, I'm going to let Tom take this next part. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a speech made up. I trying to scrap something on my desk. So to the people of Gloucester, the Greasy Rockers, the same.
And you just see the live scenes now on the beach. Champs raising the American flag. And that beach was loud as they came in and landed. An impressive wire-to-wire finish.
Wow.
They just owned that race, beginning to end.
They dominated right from the start.
If that's an upset, it's a shock. It's awesome. And again, they don't have the Italian flag.
Awesome stuff. So
Wow, what a race. What a race.
yeah, we're just taking some sights in here at the beach. Amazing action there. So we're literally going to jump into the Greasy Pole competition right after this. Nikki and Phil are going to rejoin us for the women's junior finals coming up as soon as the Greasy Pole's completed. So, Nikki, thanks for your insights. Phil, as always, we'll see you in a little bit, okay? We're going to take a very short break and come back with the Greasy Pole right after this.
Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is a story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore Seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a grease pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of "Chissà mutute mute." What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming "Viva San Pedro"? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for
And
16.
we are back here live at Pavilion Beach in Gloucester, Mass. It's a 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta. We just saw an amazing wire-to-wire win from Power in the women's senior same boat races, a huge upset. But now joining us is two-time Greasy Pole champion Steve LeBlanc and former city councilor as well, bud. How you doing? Good to see you, cuz.
Thank you, Kory.
Yeah.
John, thank you. Always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. This is a great event, and I look forward to it every year. It's in my blood, and I'm part of it, and it's part of me. So,
All right, so Steve, we're going to be going back and forth. They're already getting ready to go here.
They already went with one walker. Frankie Neal already went. Next up is Brendan Chipperini.
so these guys are a little bit different from the Saturday and Sunday guys. These are like the, I want to say the juniors. You get these guys on a Friday, you get the more experienced guys on a Saturday, and then obviously you get the Sunday champs and the proteges.
This is kind of like a wild card round almost.
It's a wild card round. There's a lot of good talent up there, though, regardless of kind of the juniors, but a lot of really, really good talent up there.
Next up is Joe Sanfilippo.
Here we go.
Number 4.
Runs
Joe
in the family.
Sanfilippo.
Bunch of Sanfilippos have won.
So the first round is your courtesy round.
Yes, sir.
You can't take it in the first round. Everyone gets one walk. There goes Joe Sanfilippo. Next up, Mike Fischette. Ross Carlson's pick, one of our guests earlier, Mike Fischette.
Yeah. Mike Fischette deserves a champ. He needs a win. He's been up there a very, very long time.
The grandson of Selby Benson, a 10-time champion.
Yeah, Fort Kid.
Next up is Anthony Pelazzola.
What a race that was, huh?
Next up.
Oh, yeah.
Next up is Mike Jacobs. Steve, you have a favorite?
Friday I don't. Friday I want everybody to win. Same thing on Sunday. I want everybody to win.
You don't have one that stands out?
I got Orlando. One of my buddy's kids is up there walking this year. I think it's his first time.
Next up, Tyler White.
Little shout out.
Oh, Tyler went that quick. Leo DiMercurio.
Oh yeah, Leo's family. Yeah, Dylan Orlando.
Al Millefogli. We're going through the list quick. 45 walkers today.
Wow.
These guys are moving already.
Yeah. We're on 10.
They got to be cold.
They were standing up there for quite a while as the Seines were feathering.
The wind gets you, though. I remember one of the years I won, I brought myself up a robe. When I got out of the water, I put the robe on and kept myself warm, and then next round I won it. So being warm is a big part of it.
Cody Zapper up. He's a favorite up there. He's come close a handful of times.
Cody comes out of the gate really good. That's a good. That's one of the main things is coming out standing tall without leaning too fast. You don't want a big lean. There he is. That's a good walk.
Cody Zappa. Next up, Gabe Castiello.
Greasy Pole Gabe. Gabe does a lot for the Greasy Pole.
Gabe Castiello. First round, courtesy round. Cannot take it down in the first round.
This guy is obsessed with the Greasy Pole.
Unfortunately, I never got to walk on Friday. That was after I had already won it.
Next up is Jonathan Moody, another good walker.
I'd probably have a Friday flag too if it was Friday.
Here we go, John.
I want to see John.
A little clout.
Hey, so we should point out last year, so right now the courtesy round's happening. No one can touch the flag. If you do, you get a beating. But everyone gets to walk the pole for one time, and then after that, once round 2 starts, first man to grab the flag is your winner. Last year, we went to the 3rd round, and it was the 31st walker when Colin Sweet won. So that gives you an idea of what we might be in for today.
Cam DeCoste. Cam DeCoste.
Cam's good. Cam's got
Really
some
good
balance.
walker. He's one of my picks. Is Cam DeCoste.
His brother's a champ.
Yep.
Someone gets in, the next walk is going in, no wait here.
Cam DeCoste.
Cam DeCoste.
Not a big fan of the high tide, to be honest with you.
Long swim in.
Long swim in.
Long swim
I
in.
like the drop. It separates the men from the mice, you know?
Next walker, Andre Saputo.
Andre Saputo. Next walker, Andre Saputo.
See if he lives up to the hype. Carrie St. Peter.
Yeah, there we go.
Next up, Nick Browning.
Next walker, Nick Browning.
He had a good walk last year. There you go.
Next walker, Dom DeCastro.
Dom DeCastro, next walker.
Another guy who carries St. Peter.
Any relation, John?
Absolutely, we're all related somehow. Every one of us.
It's an island. Everybody's related.
Right?
Next walker,
Peter Azzaro, next walker.
I always hold my breath when I look at the wedding announcements in the paper because you don't want to see Nicastro.
Right?
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened here.
The next walker.
Charlie Parmesan up next.
There we go.
We're in the first round, 2024 Friday Greasy Pole. With us, Steve LeBlanc. Next up, Christian Parmesano.
They got some good grease up there this year.
You think they're related?
Tight quarters with no beach, so look at this place.
It is peak high tide right now, Steve.
Yep.
Next walker, Tyler Ingersoll.
Tyler Ingersoll up next. Tyler Ingersoll. We're about halfway through the roster in the courtesy round. First round, you cannot take the flag down.
Tyler always puts on a show. Look at him.
Ooh.
There we go.
Nice hit.
Reminds me of the old Steve Goulart days.
Next one.
Next up, Brett Souza. Good goalie. He was a good goalie in high school. Who's going to take it down on Friday to advance to Saturday? Oh. Next up, Josh Gove.
Next one, Josh Gove.
On deck is one of my picks, too. I have 3 picks today. Nick Taramina on deck.
Oh. Be honest with you, and anybody's got a chance up there today.
I think Nick took a swipe at the flag last year, too.
Yeah, right at the end.
Nick Taramina.
There you go.
There you go.
Confirmation.
See, come out tall.
Oh, that's right on his bum.
That's still a great walk.
Steve, I noticed that he was taking some grease down with him there.
I love that. That's the
Lenny
point of the
Russo.
first round. You get out there and you try to take as much grease off as you can. If you notice, you see some of the guys, they dive forward and they give it a big swipe. Try to get a swath off. And also you can gauge to see how far you got out. So that's a little notch in the belt. Yeah.
Lenny Russo. First round, 2024 Friday Greasy Pole.
And we'll try to stay on top of all the names. It gets a little weird after the first round. Some guys might bow out, the first time around. Maybe someone swims out to go in someone's place. Like, weird things happen.
It happens before, yeah. We've had guys swim out because it's been so long. They swim in, and then they swim back out because their spot comes back up. I think John Parisi did that one year. He swam halfway in, thinking it was going to be over by the time they got back to him. I think he swam back out when he won it that year.
Lenny Russo. Next up, Joel Falzerano.
Nice.
The 26th walker out of 45. Joe Falzerano. Congratulations to Power Orr, your 2024 Senior Women's Same Boat Champions. And there goes Joe Falzerano. Not a bad little walk.
Nice walk.
Sal Taramina up next. Sal Taramina.
Sal's been up there for a while.
Oh.
Big drop.
Nick Curcuru.
So normally they stack the guys at the front that have been doing it for a while, or they've got family that's involved, or they're a good walker. You know, at the end of the line, they get the people that are kind of new to this, but they got just as much chance as the guy at the front of the line.
I'm ready for a Curcuru to win. Nick had the flag last year too and couldn't pry it free.
I think I'm either 15th or 16th on Sunday. I'm in a good spot because I had a lot of good walkers in front of me to clear some way for me.
Nick Muse up next. Nick Muse. First round, 29th walker. With us is Steve LeBlanc, your 1993 Saturday champion, your 1994 Sunday champ.
Coming out of the gates, the most important thing. Different guys have different techniques. Some guys grab a shoulder on each side, start right up at the grease. Some guys take a few steps back, want to get 4 or 5 steps before they hit the grease, which is what I do. So he was right at the beginning.
No.
That's a tough walk.
What was that tactic?
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Chris Paul up next.
When you get a little momentum, you get hurt when you walk like that. The slower you go, you fall on the pole, you hit the water a little bit different. When you get some momentum, you kind of project yourself across, and it's not as bad. Like this right here. So a little momentum helps without getting hurt.
Next up, Drew Aiello, the 31st walker of the first round, 45 total. There goes Drew Aiello. Good walk.
Nice. Yeah.
Remember that name.
Joe Kleiss Jr., the 32nd walker.
Had a good walk last year. See if we can come back and do it again. Joey Kleiss. Oh.
Next up, Jonathan Cooney.
Jonathan Cooney.
Co-founder of the bridge, by the way, John. John
Yeah,
Cooney.
I remember Jonathan Cooney with you. Jonathan Cooney. Oh, he's
Best dressed, though.
Julian Castiello, 35th walker, first round. Oh, John Philpott, I missed one. John Philpott, 34th walker.
Keith Palazzolo on the drone. That's fantastic.
Wow, what a shot that is. Wow, look at that
That
shot.
is
Wow.
fantastic.
John Philpott. Julian Castiello. Oh, wait a minute, we have an add-in. Okay, Jake Schrock.
Yeah, Jake's an athlete.
Friends and family right in front of us.
Yeah. When you're an athlete, you got big steps. That was a tough one.
The next walker,
Jerry
Jerry Shimataro.
Shimataro.
And these are all young guys. You know, I want to call them kids because I'm in my 50s, but these are all young guys. I think I'm the oldest one up there on Sunday.
Shimataro. Here's your Steve, one of your picks, Dylan Orlando, 38th walker. Dylan Orlando. '39th walker, first round, Terrence Lane. We're getting to the end.
We're getting close. I remember there's been years where it's gone 6, 7 rounds. That's a long time. I think it's going to go quick this year.
One of the favorites right here, Max Allen. 40th walker, first round, Max Allen.
Max had the flag last year, too, and couldn't pull it down.
Yep. Max Uncle's a greasy pole champ, and his grandfather's a greasy pole champ.
We saw him on Sunday last year.
Yeah.
Another guy who has a flag in his hand.
Paul Nicastro's nephew. Attaboy, Max.
That was a great walk. It kind of looked like you a little bit right there. Those quick, fast
like
steps.
a bullet.
Josh Carpenter. Next up, Josh Carpenter.
I was talking to Chris Carlson last night. He says, you're still up there. I said, yeah, I still got it, Chris. He says, I know you do. He goes, you should change your technique. I'm like, I got it balls to the wall. That's all I got. I got one speed.
Andrew Makomsky up next.
Yeah, he had a good walk last year. Yeah, here we go. See that? Here we go.
Andrew Makomsky.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Wow.
See how we come up straight?
Here's your walk of the day so far.
Yeah.
Marcus Biondo Martin up next. Marcus Biondo Martin.
It's a shame he's so far back in the lineup, though. If it gets back to him, he's going to take it down, no doubt. It's a good walk.
Another good walk.
Yeah.
Dominic Pioni. Next up, Dominic Pioni.
So you'd think that there was less grease up there, it would be a little bit easier, but once you get on the platform and you're wet and you got that thin layer of grease, it's actually a little bit
could not
harder.
stick. He lost his webbing.
Nice.
Last walker of the courtesy round, Justin Folk. Last walker, it's for real. There it is. Courtesy round's over. We're going into round two. It's all game at this point. Starting off with the number one walker, Frankie Nail.
All right, do it, boys.
All right, folks, you're about to start the start of round two here for the Friday Grease Pool competition. This winner advances to compete tomorrow. First guy to grab the flag wins. Kory Curcuru alongside John Nicastro and two-time Greasy Pole champ Steve LeBlanc.
So I was at the club the other night, and 30 years ago this year, I stopped Peter's streak. Peter had won it 7 years in a row. And
this is Peter Frontiero, folks, watching outside the area.
I'm feeling a little streak stoppish this year again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Derek Hopkins goes for 6th straight on Sunday.
I'm feeling it. Sad thing about it is in the back of my mind and the back of some other people's minds.
There goes Frankie Nail. Frankie Nail. Frankie Nail. What a walk by
great
Frankie
walk.
Nail. 3/4 of the way, maybe more, Steve. Frankie Nail. His eyes were on the flag,
Yeah.
Steve.
Straight up, too. That was great.
Straight up. Next up, Brendan Chipperini. Frankie Nail.
So Brendan bleeds grease.
Move that boat is the chant.
That's the committee boat.
Committee vote, yeah.
I wonder if those guys have their own camera, too.
Someone's got to get in touch with the committee boat to back up a little bit.
We're part of our Aquatic family who does such a great job of the Novena every single year. Plays a beautiful at Collegiate.
So that's the crowd asking for the Fiesta committee boat in front of the pole there to move out of the way so they can have a better view.
Ask
Gig.
I don't think that was an ask. Sounded like the Boston Garden.
Here we go. Joe Sanfilippo, a good walker, Steve.
Yeah,
Joe
here we go.
Sanfilippo.
This could go down.
It's in the blood of the Sanfilippos with the pole.
The bunch of Sanfilippos have won.
A lot of names through the years that have taken down the flag with the last name Sanfilippo. A lot of good walkers.
Saw how you come out. Come out of that gate with a good walk. Straight up and down, you're good to go.
Joe Sanfilippo. He's had his hand on the flag a couple times.
I think the police are getting some of the kayaks out of the way there.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Sanfilippo, there he is. Oh, another bum. Right on his bum.
And we should point out that there are lifeguards on paddle boards right there, as well as the Coast Guard emergency personnel.
Here we go. The fifth walker, second round, Mike Fichette.
So if you look at some of the
Good
forms,
walker.
some people come out with little short steps. Some people come out with a big stride. Some people pound their feet on the pole. Everybody's got their own way.
Mike Fichette. Mike Fichette came out of the gate a little bit
see
off.
that?
Tough fall, but good walker. Anthony Pelazzola, second round, sixth walker. Anthony Pelazzola. So far, the highlight of the day has been Frankie Nail, 3/4 or more. Still a lot of grease on that pole.
A lot of champs walking through the crowd. We had just had Johnny Carollo come by us just now.
I remember that pole. So it was the first pole I was really partying at.
Oh, yeah.
The Carollo one, yeah. What, was that 91 or 90?
I was 93. Johnny was a couple years before me.
91, I think. That was a good one.
Times were different back then.
It's funny, I'm actually parked in his wife's parking space at her work right now.
Anthony Pelazzola. Anthony Pelazzola.
So I can remember back in 91, I was up there on the pole, and I'm looking at all these old guys.
Oh, wow.
The past few years, I'm looking at myself, I'm like, geez, I'm that old guy up there, huh? Crazy.
You still got some
still
juice
look
left,
phenomenal.
though, Steve.
I still got it.
Still looks incredible.
You'll see Sunday. I smell a streak stop.
Mike Jacobs. Good walker, right? Yeah, Mike Jacobs.
Mike's a good guy.
Good walker.
Yeah, good walk.
Mike Jacobs.
So being up so long, over 30 years on the pole, I've walked it with all the greats, Salvi, Matza, Stewie,
Mike Jacobs
Peter,
a little
Jake.
slow.
You know,
Mike
I don't want to leave
Jacobs
anybody
straight
out.
up. He's got the balance. Mike
Walked
Jacobs. Oh.
Looked like he was sleepwalking.
Good balance.
I
A
walked it
little
with Derek
slow,
this
but he
year.
looked good
This
doing
is my
it.
first year walking it with a woman, a female up on the pole. So my greasy pole cycle is complete after this year.
That's awesome, though, huh?
Yeah, I've seen it all.
Tyler White. Next up, Tyler White.
There are female competitors once in a blue moon, but turns out women are much smarter than guys.
There you go.
Next up, Leo DiMercurio.
And then I remember the year Jake Wood took it down 3 days in a row, the first time before Derek, and that was like, that's never going to happen again. And here we are, 20-something years later. We got D. Hopkins up there. He's going to be a legend.
Leo DiMercurio.
There you go, Leo.
There he goes, Leo DiMercurio, about halfway. Good walk. Next up, Al Millefogli. Al Millefogli up next.
Al deserves one. Father's part of the Fiesta committee. Great guy. Great family.
Al Millefogli.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
Awesome family. Al Millefogli.
Yeah, it's always great when one of the guys that part of the Fiesta committee, part of the fort, it's something special when you were raised down here and you win it. It's totally different from growing up in Magnolia, East Gloucester, and winning it.
Cody Zappa.
You bring the flag home. Speaking of the flags, the flags are gorgeous nowadays. My two flags, one was a closet pole with a rag strapped to it, and the other one was a piece of strapping with a flag with a piece of rag taped to it, stapled to it. That had the wrong year on it. It said 92, and it was a 94 flag. So those flags have come a long way over the past dozen years.
I saw the Grease Gang putting it out yesterday. It is actually pretty striking.
Oh yeah. Back in the day, they just used to take whatever was down the wharf and make a flag out of it.
Gabe Castiello. Gabe Castiello, 12th walker of the second round.
This guy bleeds grease, too. Gabe does a lot of documentaries about the greasy pole. He's probably got a camera up there getting everybody's walks. He's a good kid. Be nice to see somebody like that take the flag down. It means a lot to him. Here we go.
Gabe Castiello. Good start,
he had a good walk.
I think he stepped on an apple.
They had banana peels up there one year.
Jonathan Moody.
Yep.
Second round, 2024 Friday Greasy Pole, Jonathan Moody. Who's going to advance to Saturday? He'll be the first walker tomorrow.
Moody's been up there a bunch of years, too.
There he goes, Jonathan Moody.
Nice.
Oh, good start.
If you get a chance, make sure you come check out the Greasy Pole Shine on Commercial Street.
Here's one of my picks, Steve. Cam DeCoste.
Nice.
14th walker of the second round, Cam DeCoste.
The next walker, Cameron DeCoste.
Yeah, brother's a champ. I'd like to give a little shout out to my wife for allowing me to do this for so many years and giving me permission to come down here and not being, not harassing me. So I love you, Melanie. Thank you. She's watching. Goes a long way.
Thank you for letting Steve come to us.
Dinner would mean more, though, Steve.
Oh, yeah. I dragged her down for a few hours last night. Yeah, that was about it. She says, "This is your thing. Go have fun." And I appreciate that.
Cam DeCoste, here he comes. Cam DeCoste halfway. Another good walk by Cam DeCoste. Every year he has good walks. Very similar walking style as you, Steve. He's out fast. Another one, Cliffy Carlson's another one.
Yeah.
Champs. Andre Saputo.
The only thing sometimes when you come out of the gate too fast, you lean a little forward. You get ahead of yourself. That's good form right there.
Andre Saputo, good walk.
You come out with your hands up.
Nick Browning.
This kid's got a chance.
16th walker of the second round.
That's a good number. That's my number this year, I think. Either 15 or 16. I've been 16 for a long time. I'm the last one of the champs up there, that's why.
Nick Browning. 2024 Friday Greasy Pole. Who's going to take it down to get to Saturday? Nick Browning, halfway. No. Dom Nicastro up next. Dom Nicastro up next.
Some people like to have a certain number up there. They want to be the middle of the pack. They want to be toward the end. Some guys like the front. I've been 1, 2, all the way back to number 16. I've been every number.
Peter Azzaro.
Peter will put on a show.
Folks, we're in the middle of round 2 here for the Friday Greasy Pole competition. Next man who grabs the flag advances to walk tomorrow.
After this, we have the Junior Girls Same Boat Championship. Peter Azzaro. Charlie Palmisano up next.
Another champ. Bloodline.
Joe Palmisano.
Yep.
And you listen to my co-host, John Nicastro, and we're alongside two-time Greasy Pole champ, Steve LeBlanc.
What a great spot you guys got. I thought last year's was really good up on the deck. This is much better.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, you're down with everybody.
We want to thank the Doherty family for allowing us to use this. As an unbelievable vantage point.
Yep.
Thank you very much. This is a great spot. Next up, Christian Palmisano.
All right. Make the family proud.
We got a few father-son combos.
Oh, no. That's terrible.
Next up, Tyler Ingersoll. Right away, the half point of the second round. 2024 Greasy Pole Friday. Tyler Ingersoll.
Tried to get my son up there this year with me for a father-son walk. He wasn't into it this year.
No dice.
Yeah, so I think this is my last year after this, and unless I win,
stop
until the 100th, right?
Yeah.
I just gave you a shout out a few minutes ago. Thanks, buddy.
Brett Souza up next. 22nd walker of the second round is Brett Souza.
Yeah, so I tried to get my boy out there because it'd be nice to walk with my son.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, he's getting married in September. He doesn't want anything to happen to him.
Is that Brawny LeBlanc?
Yeah, no. He's a lot like me, though. I tell him that's a blessing and a curse.
Oh, wow. Josh Gove up next. 23rd walker of the second round, Josh Gove.
What number we at? 30?
23.
The food grade green grease in the front,
Yeah.
Crisco, and some coconut on the backside.
I was surprised last year when they had the grease up there. I wasn't ready for that.
Josh Gove. Oh. There goes his cheek.
Watch him, please.
One of my other picks, Nick Taramina. Watch here, people. This could go down. Nick Taramina.
Here we go.
Nick Taramina,
Yeah,
second
made it all the way
round,
back around.
24th walker. Friday. Come on, Nicky. Take it down, Nick.
They're whipping up the crowd there on the platform.
Nicky T, here we go. Nick Taramina.
Nice.
Nick Taramina halfway. Oh, I got a little stumble.
Come out strong, though.
Yeah. Next up, Lenny Russo. 25th walker of the second round, Lenny Russo. Sometimes as you get to the end of a lineup, it can get weak, but not on Friday. There's a lot of good walkers towards the end today.
Yeah.
You know, John, you're going through the list, and Steve, you just hear name after name of this, these generational Gloucester families.
Absolutely.
Joe Falzarano. Where else could commentators get every Italian name right, but mess up the Medigatti ones?
This is easy.
All right. So speaking of Italian, my mom was born in Sicily, so that's why I'm up there. My cousin was Mazza, so it runs in my blood too. Growing up, when Anthony was winning it, that's all I wanted to do, and then I did it a few times. So God rest Anthony's soul. He was my idol growing up.
Sal Taramina, 27th walker of the second round. Sal Taramina. Oh, right on his back. Next up, Nick Curcuru.
There we go.
Been a long time since the Curcuru one. Got to go back to Uncle Phil way, way back in the day.
What's that, the 40s, 50s?
No, 60s.
That's not bad.
Nick Curcuru halfway. Nick Curcuru. Oh, good walk,
That
Nick.
was great.
Good walk, 3/4 of the way, going strong. There really are apples and stuff up there. So you walk in on grease, and the next thing you know, you step on an apple. That can't be comfortable.
Yeah. I know. I've never had that problem.
Nick Muse.
It's funny.
Ross says he grabbed an apple and he ate it on you.
Oh,
That
yeah,
must have been so
that's
tasty.
The donut. It was even worse.
Disgusting. We haven't seen many clingers when they hit the pole and you sit there for a little bit.
No, Spider-Man did a little bit of it.
Yeah, for a second.
Nick Muse, second round.
Yeah, it could be anybody's at this point.
29th walker, Nick Muse.
Eyes on the flag. Nick Muse.
He's preparing himself. He's talking in his head. Everybody gets quiet up there. Everybody says, all right, calm down. Everybody quiet. Oh, buddy.
That's a very slow call.
You're going to get
Nick Muse.
hurt. Pumping his tires, too.
We've been saying it for years. Baby steps kill.
Oh, it kills you. That pole hurts.
Chris Paul.
But like
Paul
I
up
said, you
next.
get out there and you, the pole gets absolutely quiet for everybody. It's like, shut up. And you sit there and you get in your head and you try to visualize your walk before you get out there.
People sign up for Friday's event. Unfortunately, we only put 45 on.
Now, in the meantime, the women's junior sailboat racers are getting ready in their boats. They're going to take place right after this, the finals.
Drew Aiello,
This is
31st
looking like
walker.
it might go a little bit.
Drew had a great walk, courtesy
Yeah.
round.
Yeah, he did have a good walk. He was well over halfway.
Here we go.
Drew Aiello
Nice.
halfway. Drew Aiello again with another good walk. Joseph Kleiss,
Come on, JoJo.
Joey Christ Jr.
32nd walker.
JoJo would be my favorite up here right now.
Nice.
Yeah. JoJo walked for me a couple years ago on Sunday.
Steve LeBlanc with us, 1993 Saturday, 1994 Sunday champion. He'll be walking tomorrow.
Come on, JoJo.
Sunday.
Attaboy. Yeah, look at him. Little speed. Come on,
Joe
buddy.
Kleiss. Joseph Kleiss. Joseph Kleiss.
Attaboy,
Joseph
representing.
Kleiss. Best walk of the day yet.
Good job, JoJo.
Jonathan Cooney, 33rd walker of the second round.
John's mom is a Curcuru, by the way. Just throwing that out there. Well, it was a Curcuru.
Jonathan Cooney. Second round, 33rd walker. Jonathan Cooney. Came out of the gate fast. Jonathan Cooney, about halfway. Next up, John Philpott. John Philpott.
Family of athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
A lot of good athletes. John Philpott. John Philpott.
He's got this mini skirt on. Good for him.
Next walker, Julian Castiello. Oh, Julian Castiello's actually not up there. So the next walker is Jake Schrock. 36th walker of the second round, Jake Schrock.
Jake's a big boy. He comes out kind of awkward. The big guys have an awkward walk.
Some of them have those big
steps.
steps.
The big stride, yeah.
Next up, Jerry Shimataro.
Talented kid, though, athlete.
37th walker, second round, Jerry Shimataro.
Jerry Jr.
Jerry Shimataro, about halfway. Next up, Dylan Orlando, 38th walker.
Here we go.
Dylan
Yeah,
Orlando.
we got Dylan's family right here in front. Come on, Dylan. Dylan Orlando. We got the Orlando family down low.
Dylan Orlando, 38th walker, second round.
Come on, Dylan. Make your old man Mark
Dylan
proud.
Orlando.
Let's go.
Oh,
Chin music.
little chin music
right.
there. Next up, Terrence Lane. Terrence Lane. We're going deep into the second round now. 39th walker, second round. Terrence Lane. Terrence Lane,
walk.
about halfway. Good. That was a good fall.
Yeah, these guys are cold up here right now.
Get ready. Steve, get ready. Max Lane. Or Max Allen. Get ready. Max Allen.
Come on, Max.
One of my strong picks, Max
I guarantee
Allen.
you, if Max wins, you're going to see some of the Nicastro family down in the water.
Max Allen, here we
Max
go.
wins. Take a walk over to Felicia. You're going to see a good time.
Max Allen, second round, 40th walker. Get ready, it's gonna come down right here.
Yep.
Max Allen. And it will come down. Max Allen, here he goes. Max Allen, halfway. Max Allen going all the way down. Max Allen, there it is, your 2024 Friday champion. Max Allen, there you go, your Friday champion, 2024 Friday champ, Max Allen. Good job, Max. Tremendous walk right through the flag. What a walk by Max Allen.
Tremendous.
Wow.
Good job, Max.
He had great walks last year, great walks this year. His first walk in the first round was a good walk. All his walks last year were good. Steve, take us through that walk.
So like I said earlier, coming out of the gate, a lot of it's confidence too. You know you're going to win. I remember on Saturday of '93, I came home, my mom and dad, I said, you got to come down, I'm going to win the greasy pole. I'm going to win. They're like, yeah. They came down, I won the greasy pole. It was just like that. So you got,
like you said, you were standing straight up.
Yeah, stand straight up, come out of the gate, nice and tall, and a lot of it's confidence.
So Steve, now that Max has captured the flag, what happens with him tomorrow?
Tomorrow he'll be number one, and I guarantee you if he wins tomorrow, we're going to have his uncle out there on the pole with us on Sunday. Woo! I guarantee. So it's exhilarating, though. Tonight's going to be a blur to him. So
wow.
My advice, Max, sit back, soak it all in. Before you know it, it's going to be over. You're going to be back up there tomorrow. Number one. You don't get many number ones. Well, you get two. These guys get two number ones.
Seeing the replay now. Yeah. Beautiful walk. Good redemption from last year. That was great.
Wow.
Good for him. He deserves it.
Max Allen.
The Castro family's deeply rooted. They do, look at that.
Wow, look at this walk. Eyes, look at this walk,
Look at the
straight
arms.
ahead.
Look at that. See how the arms are up?
There you have it, folks.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, deep roots down Felicia Oil. You know, we go down there after every pole. We used to get cleaned up. We used to meet down there before we get up on the pole. Very, very deep roots for Max and his family.
6 shot. I mean, we got to give up to Streamography, 1623 Studios, Keith Palazzolo with a drone, Bridge Cape Ann. Big collaboration here, working with the St. Peter's Fiesta Committee to bring this event to you all.
And the flag came right out, which I love.
Well, I talked to the grease gang yesterday. Tommy Favazzi showed me the 3.5-inch nails. But now that end's gone through a little bit last year. That pole's been up the year round, and Max wasn't letting that go for anything. So
Here
Max
they come.
Allen
There's
is your
BJ at
Friday
BJ.
champ.
There he is. A champ. I put it on Facebook. It was official. Max Allen was one of my picks. If it's Facebook official, you know it's legit. Max Allen, he's gonna, Steve, the great up beach court, Steve. You remember that like it was yesterday.
I don't.
You do. Oh, Steve.
Oh, being carried up.
Yeah.
That was a blur, buddy. That was a blur.
Well, you're gonna have to do it again Sunday.
Smell a stop in the air.
Max Allen, your 2024 Friday champ. He's coming in now. It's a long swim in, Steve.
Yeah, it is. That's a tough swim in. We've got you're winded. You're swallowing water. It's just, it's exhausting.
And I'll tell you what, that entire family is, they're up to their waist in water right now, waiting for Max to get in.
Next up is going to be your junior girls same boat championship. But Max Allen right now is stealing the spotlight. Your 2024 Friday champion, Max Allen, as he's coming in with the flag in the air, going to be carried up beach court. Something that he's going to remember forever, and he'll be the first walker tomorrow on Saturday.
You're getting mauled. Everybody's trying to high-five you. You're getting pulled down.
You're getting drowned.
You're swimming one hand with the flag, one hand you're trying to paddle in.
That's Max's dad, BJ.
There's BJ Allen right there.
Uncle Mark is out there too. Mark's a winner.
Mark's a winner. Mark was out there a few years ago. I got a nice swath of grease off of Mark one year. I was about 6 feet too short. Good for Max.
Here he is. He's
Tell you,
coming
runs
in.
in the family.
The tradition being carried up beach court by his fellow walkers and family members. Your 2024 Friday champion, Max Allen. It's a long swim in this high tide.
So I can tell you guys too, I'm close with the Allen family as well. They were heartbroken last year when Max couldn't come away with it, but they've been waiting a long time for this to happen.
Yep.
You know.
He deserved it.
Uh-oh.
So we just heard that there may be an injury to one of the pole walkers, so there's going to be some help here at the beach.
It happens a lot when you go slow. Like I said, you come out a little bit fast, you get that momentum that pushes you along.
Here he comes, your 2024 Friday champion, Max Allen. There he is, Max Allen holding the flag. Holding the flag, your 2024 Friday champion, Max Allen.
Are we splitting that? No.
He's going to do the same goddamn thing tomorrow.
Good for Max.
Here he comes, Max Allen, going up on the shoulders.
Yeah,
there he is, Max Allen, your 2024 Friday champion, Max Allen.
That flag can be dangerous, though. They got the spikes sticking out the bottom. Sometimes they don't come out. There you go, Max. Look at that.
Max Allen, your 2024 Friday champion, being carried up beach court.
There's nothing like
Max
it.
Allen, your 2024 Friday champion.
Nothing like it.
The tradition being carried up beach court.
Yep. We've seen guys being carried up beach court. They've been dropped. They've been pulled down.
All right, folks, and we are back. Kory Curcuru alongside John Castro and Steve LeBlanc, two-time champ Steve LeBlanc, that is. We just saw Max Allen capture the pole. He's going to be walking first for Saturday's competition. That's the big prize he gets today. He's not, if he can get there tomorrow.
He'll be there.
Yeah, because he's going to have a big night in front of him now.
He's not going to sleep tonight, I guarantee you. He's going to be dreaming about this.
Very cool. So, Steve, your final thoughts on Max's walk and Friday's poll?
Always love to be a part of this. Like I said, I'm part of it. It's part of me. I love you guys for having me. I try to give a little bit of that institutional knowledge. And congratulations, Max. Like I said, enjoy the night. It'll be over in a minute.
We appreciate your time being with us. Good luck Sunday, bud. Right? We'll get an exclusive interview with you Sunday if you pull it off.
All right.
So, all right, we're going to be back with the women's junior same boat races right after this.
Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of "Chi siamo tutte mute?" What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming "Viva San Pedro"? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of "Chi siamo tutte mute?" What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming "Viva San Pedro"? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for 16.
All right, folks, and our coverage of the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta from Gloucester, Massachusetts continues now with the women's junior same boat finals. We already saw Pau Orr upset Rogue in the women's senior finals a little earlier today, and Max Allen is your Greasy Pole champion for Friday. He's walking first thing tomorrow for us, but we have more business at hand, and it is the women's junior race. This is the finals now. Back again with us is Francis, 4-time same boat champion, and Nikki Parisi, 10-time same boat champion, alongside John Nicastro. All right, Nikki, can you help us just set the table here for the cruise and what we can expect from these young ladies?
All right, well, first off, this might be the night of Timmy Oaks. He'll also be scuttling for his Lady Luke's crew, and 3 of his daughters are on it, which is really pretty cool. So the Lady Lukes are the defending champs. They were pretty amazing last year, so I'm going to go with them. However, anything could happen, and all of the girls out there are just going to work their butts off, and I hope it's going to be a good race.
Are you familiar with these crews at all, Nikki?
Not very familiar. I haven't been with the juniors for a while, so I really just kind of know about the Lady Lukes a little bit. Alexis Novello is the coxswain. She's Joe Novello, who's like the head of Fiesta, her daughter, and Chaos, the daughter. So I think they have a really good chance, but we can't count anybody out. The other thing that we need to discuss that I know is going to piss Phil off is this is the first year that we will have mostly woman scuttlers in the race.
Phil?
Anything? Let it go.
I think, Phil, you'd be proud.
Proud of what?
Women scuttlers.
Not the way it went about, but we won't even talk about that.
Anyway.
I think the favorite in this race right now is Lady Lukes. What you find out over the years is the defending champ in juniors usually ends up winning the year after because they have a year on the belt. They're a year older than who they're rowing against. If everybody remembers, though, last year's race was the race of the weekend. I'm going with Lady Lukes. I have a soft spot up my half. Timmy's a very good friend. His daughters are great kids. And it was the picture of the Fiesta last year when they hit the beach and seeing his three daughters jump on him. And it brought, it was very emotional.
It was a great moment.
It was a great moment. It brought, I had a tear in my eye for it. But the biggest thing about it is these are the young people that are going to be the stars in the women's race in a few years. So I think we're going to have a good race today. We'll see what happens.
So not only does Timmy just scuttle for the winning crew, he's scuttling for this crew with three of his daughters on it, at least three. And he'll be scuttling for Chaos on Sunday.
And he also has a junior boys crew.
And he has a junior boys crew, so
could be quite the weekend for my buddy Timmy.
Yep, Tim's kind of man of the Fiesta this year. And he's got Alexis Novello in there. She comes from really good rowing blood. I also want to shout out to the woman in the St. Peter's Club that fixed my shirt for me. Thank you.
What was wrong with the shirt?
I have the little hanger thing hanging out, and she said that she watched it the whole time. So
Hello
she
to everyone
fixed it for me.
She
Thank
asked
you.
me to cut them off for her.
And Phil cut them off.
It was a tender moment.
It was really sweet. It was a precious moment. I'll never forget.
Hey, chivalry isn't dead.
It's not. He was a little bummed out that it was just the straps, but...
I know, it is what it is.
Okay.
All right, so just like in the women's senior scenes, now the juniors are getting into position. Then the posturing will begin.
It will. The back and forth, but we're still waiting for another boat.
Okay.
They're over there.
So what I do want to ask Nikki and Phil, it's an hour since the women's scenes have happened. The tide is starting to move out just a touch. Any difference in the conditions now is what we saw in the first race today?
It doesn't look like it's as choppy as it was earlier, which I was hoping for a chop. I like seeing a chop because you get to find out what the steerers have. That's a steerer's point of view. I wanted to find out if somebody really earned it.
Oh, wait a minute. It looks like, hold on, I got to find out what crew that is. Empowered. It looks like Mike might be scuttling, unless he's just tying in. But it was supposed to be, so Jenny Davis is supposed to be doing it.
I think Jenny Davis is over here.
What?
I think that's her right there. That's Jenny Davis over there.
That's Jenny. I'm sorry. So there was supposed to be a woman in Mike Harmon's boat too, though.
Yeah, there was another woman that steered on Sunday.
Ralphie. Stroke
that's right,
Sisters.
Ralphie. Okay, that's right.
Stroke Sisters
Michael
has
Bobby
Ashley
Ralphie.
Smith.
Oh, they must have just dropped them off the
Ralphie's
committee
scuttling.
boat. Yeah, they just dropped them off from the committee boat.
All right, so I recant. There's only one woman scuttler this year. And that will be Jenny Davis, and will be with Empowered in the Santa Maria. However, this is not the first year that women have scuttled. It happened back in maybe 2005, 2006, when Doreen Scola scuttled for a race.
Phil, come on.
I didn't say a word.
Be nice.
What's wrong with you? Your Fiesta spirit, Phil.
My Fiesta spirit's always there. All right.
All right, so these girls got to start lining it up. Let's go.
Just like I said, I'm an advocate of the women's races. Always have been. Simple as that. but they took the club. Okay.
There's a way to go about
Can we
certain
have
things.
one thing?
No, Phil, there's a way to go about things.
Now, for people out
that
there, I'm
maybe would
saying
make
this.
people
I'm
nicer.
saying this in jest. Okay, don't get offended.
Okay. All right, so on the blue flag, we have Stroke Sisters, Ralph Martin Scuttling, Ashley Smith Coxing, Sari Smith Hale, Dylan Gaetano, Abby Luthers, Anna Hay, Lexi Carollo, Jenna Hoofnagel, Keegan Jewell, Ari Scola, Alina Parsons, and Sky Berry. Last year's champs in the white flag in the Pinto will be Timmy Oakes as Scuttling, his second time tonight. Alexis Novello, Coxing, Bailey Dabrowski, Goober Oakes, Delaney Oakes, Lily Pendergrass, Mia Wheeler, Kelsey Francis, Maddie Oakes, Lila Spear, Riley Smith, and Ella Tucker. And last but not least, empowered in the Santa Maria with the red flag, Jenny Davis will be Scuttling. Jamie McDonald will be Coxing. Eden McDonald, Jasana Mercaldi, Julia Park, Lily Wall, Gabriella Martel, Abigail Aiello, Kiara Curcuru, Courtney French, Olivia Vargas, and Hayden Kohler.
And we still have a great crowd here on the beach.
And there's still a good crowd, as should be. And we need to support the young girls. They're the future of the race.
Absolutely.
It was a good crowd yesterday, too, for the junior boys, which the eliminations came down to literally not even a bench. Like that, literally one seat. That's it.
And that's why, and I feel bad for the boys. Why do they have a Thursday 10 a.m.? I don't understand. But maybe they should be Saturday after the men's race.
Well, that was the eliminations yesterday. They have their championship
Yeah, they had
races.
the eliminations, but it's on Thursday at 10
Yeah, I know,
o'clock.
yeah.
I mean, their parents work, people work.
Yeah.
Not everybody can make it. All right, they are lining it up. Let's go. I think that's going to be a pretty quick start.
They want to get it up.
Jenny's ready.
She's ready to go.
Yep. She wants to prove something.
So we have, in the middle, we have the defending champs, Lady Luke's, going for the...
They're going backwards, though. Jenny was for a second.
Let's get the kids out of the water if we can.
So they're starting off with their feathering again in the bow, getting some momentum going. The Nina hands up to the right. To the right, Nina hands up.
Let's hope they don't play
Tammy's
games.
going to put her arms up in a second in the...
She's ready. Metal Boat's going to start the race.
All right, we've got two up. We're waiting for the third.
Come on, Alexis.
Come on, Alexis.
Alexa has a lead right now. She should just be going right now.
Yeah, she should have started it. Yeah, they still have a lead. And we go. All right.
Here they go. They're off. The junior St. Boat girls going off right away. It looks like the middle boat. The middle boat took off like a rocket ship.
They're already up by 3.
The little boat, the champs, went off like a rocket ship.
Usually have an
That's
edge.
experience.
And they roll a nice stroke.
They
have
won
a nice
last
stroke right
year.
now. They already got a boat lead.
You know, and you got to remember too, these girls, some of them don't even weigh 100 pounds, and they're still racing the same race that the women and the men race. The same oars, the same course, the same mile. I think it's pretty amazing.
So give me the importance of a hot start like this.
They just smoked them at the start. You know something? It's a mental thing. If you see that you get jumped at the start, and like right now they're behind by a boat, it starts wearing on you. Where it's just the opposite. The boat that has the lead, adrenaline takes over. The more you have that lead, the adrenaline takes over. You don't feel that pain. Right now, those two boats that are behind, they're going to be dragging a little bit, wishing themselves, how are we going to catch them?
But sometimes they get such a good lead that they just they use everything they have to get that lead out of the start, and then they might fall apart.
I'm going to make a prediction right now.
But I'm going to go with Lady Luke
race
just because
the race is over right now.
They already won.
Right now. They got a boat and a half lead right now. Race is over.
They've won. They've won in the past. They have Timmy Oakes.
You must
they
be
have
on
a
the
good
racetrack,
crew.
Phil.
They're going to win this race by 4 boats.
And the other crews are less experienced.
Right, they're
But
experienced.
they're out there and they're doing it.
They're the defending champs. I've been in the junior crew the second year. You always win big because you're going against people that have their first year.
That's a great
Have
point.
the experience.
When I coached juniors, and we won 3 years in a row. It was like they were untouchable. The first year was a tough race. It was very close, but then after that, they couldn't get touched.
I think I've only seen it once where a defending junior champ lost. That was about 10 years ago, I think it was. But defending junior champs, whether it's boys or whether it's the women's races, always come back and win the second time around.
Well, you got to figure too. There's girls on these boats anywhere from 14 to 19 years old.
Right.
That's a huge age difference, a huge strength difference, mentality, everything. So these little girls that are just getting into it and just starting, just stick with it. They'll get it.
It's a great shot, huh?
That is an amazing shot. That is so. And look at them. Their oars are all together. That looks like a woman's winning crew right there.
Usually you see a little spider in the younger
There's
people's.
nothing.
Not at all.
They
They're
are
on a great
perfect.
Slope. Alexis does a good job with them coaching. Alexis has experience, so she does a good job.
I'm going to guess they're going 32 to 34 strokes. You can't even see the other boats now.
Where's the other two boats?
Oh, there we go. They're coming in now.
We got 3-boat lead right now.
At least.
So, Nikki, now that you see that we have drone footage, are you going to get back in a boat next year?
Absolutely. I did not want to be in a boat this year. I had an injury. But I'll be back next year. Hopefully, if anybody wants me.
Was it a blouse-related injury or no?
I'm sorry?
Was it blouse-related? No?
No, actually, it was not blouse-related.
I thought I was retired, and I got the call last Friday. Raced Wednesday night.
Oh, I've retired 4 times, but Joanne Frontero keeps making me come back, and then this year I couldn't. A couple of weeks before the race, I hurt myself.
Oh, I got the first responders race tomorrow morning. That should be interesting.
Now explain that.
It's the police, firemen. We think the Coast Guard has a crew. They're a hit or miss. You never know if they're going to show up or not.
That happened last year. Yeah, I remember.
But it's a rivalry. It's like
And you have to be a police officer, a fireman, so they can't call somebody in.
I was in it last year, and we were leading by 3-4 boats. They want to smash them. They want to embarrass them. It's funny. And this year we have one of the women rowers rowing with us, Kelly Gossam.
Yeah.
We had a couple guys got hurt, and I was talking. I got a call from Brendan Ciabarini. I said, "Well, Kelly, she rows same boats. Get her in the boat." And I tried to get the other woman police officer that rows, but she had a row tonight in the women's crew that won. But Kelly came out with us. She's solid. I think she's rowing lead stroke for us tomorrow. It's like I said, I got no problem with women rowers.
And these women are killing it right now. You're watching the women's junior sailboat finals right off Pavilion Beach. They're in the midst of heading out a half mile to circle a red, white, and blue flag before heading back to the beach. What are we looking at right now? Who's out front?
Well, last year's champs are definitely out front. But I will say these other two crews have a nice stroke. They're together. They are working.
Well, that's the key. Keep a stroke together. You can be the strongest crew in the world, but if you don't have a crew that rows together, you can see weaker crews beat stronger crews because they have the stroke. They have a better stroke.
If you only have 9 people rowing together and one's off, you're done. One person.
The other person acts as a brake to you.
Absolutely, because you're dragging them around, and you just need everybody rowing, and they need to be together.
He's not killing right now. She's not killing them right now. They got
she doesn't need to.
Right. When they get around the flag, though, watch. She'll open it up a little bit halfway.
When they get around the flag, even if they're 20 boats ahead, she's going to turn it on because that's just what you do.
Here they go, approaching the turn.
And a bit of a tailwind too.
We got about 50 yards to the turn.
Yeah, they're gonna get blown right in. They're a nice light crew.
So now you're looking at a red, white, and blue flag there. Each boat is designated to its own lane, and they're going to work right now on starting to make that turn.
Yeah, Timmy's going to start making his approach right now, and he'll do like he did in the last race. He's not going to try to do anything fancy. He's just going to get him around. He's got a nice lead, play it safe, and then smash him on the way home.
Coming home, they can all just crack open a beer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're too young.
This is genius.
They're too young, sorry. Here we go. They're turning.
Non-alcoholic Jello shots.
Mimosas.
It's funny, one year my junior girl, somebody, after we won, somebody gave one of my girls a beer. And she was puking the whole way back to the dock.
See, that's a nice story.
That was super fun.
You can't get that anywhere, folks.
Hey, Lizzie,
Nice turn,
that's
too,
you.
Timmy. He caught it.
All right, nice turn. All right, the other two are turning at the same time, so it could be a good race for second.
I know, second place is going to be.
Yeah.
Could be. Depends on the turn right now.
But, I mean,
Mike's going
Lady
wide.
Luke's, no, I'm sorry. I said in the before race that don't call it yet, but this one we're calling. It's Lady Luke's.
The other two looks like they're going down the Annisquam River.
Ralphie had a little issue.
Yeah. This race is over. They're that good.
Yeah.
They should be in the women's division.
It was over. It was
Yeah,
over.
stroke
100
looks
yards
incredible.
on the beach.
I want to row with them.
Now, even though you sort of hope for like a photo finish at the end,
Right.
but sometimes those runaway wins are just as impressive.
This is very, very impressive. They haven't missed a stroke.
They haven't.
The stroke's incredible. Look at that stroke for the junior division girls. It's unbelievable.
Alexis has done an amazing job with them.
Yep.
Absolutely amazing. However, the two other crews, really nice stroke. Stick with it, and you'll get your win. I think the other two crews are younger than these girls, too. So.
The thing I noticed, I'm watching, they're all laying down on the oar. They're laying down on the oar.
What do you mean when you say that?
When you pull the oar, you can lay back so that you can really use your back and legs and then punch it forward. And they're doing that. I mean, if they're just sitting upright, they're not going to go anywhere. These girls are working. They don't care that the boats are 10 boats behind them. They still want to make a
It's
good
like
show.
when you're laying, the guy that's rowing behind you, it's like you're laying down his lap. A lot of guys don't do that. They use their arms, and it's not doing anything to help the race.
You can't use all arms. I mean, 60% of the power has to come from the legs, and then it's 20% core, 20% arms. God, they look good.
They look real. They'll be in the seniors next year. I think they can play. I think they're of the age that they could go a third year, but I think they have the rule now you can only go 2 years.
I think, no, at 19 they
19?
cut it off. Yeah,
Which
because
they should do. They really should go back to 18 the way it was, because you have too many. Is it at 19 or 21 now?
No, it's not. I believe it's 19. But like I said earlier, I mean, the difference between a 14-year-old and a 19-year-old is huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
The difference between a 16-year-old and a 19-year-old.
Even that, yeah. So maybe 18 should be a good cutoff. Alexis did an amazing job with them. And, of course, Jimmy Oaks. So they just passed in 10-Pound Island, so that probably makes them feel a little bit better knowing they're getting closer to home.
Oh, they're all smiling right now.
Yeah.
Right now, they're all whooping. Timmy's got a big smile on his face because he knows he's going to get a big hug from the girls again.
But they're not, hopefully they're not going to let them know how well they're doing, because then they might kind of give up a little bit. So we want them to just keep going.
You know as well as I do, they say don't look at anything else, but somebody just took a peek at 10-Pound Island.
Look at perfect stroke. And the other two boats still, I mean, they still have nice long strokes. They're all together.
Nice straight lines.
Nice straight lines. They should all be really proud of themselves. We might see some tears at the end of the race, but nobody should be crying. There's no crying in Seine boats. What do you think they have, Phil? 4 boats?
More than that. You look right there. They got about 7 or 8.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, they do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Half a football field.
At least 7.
That's a big lead for the defending champs, the Lady Lukes.
Yep. And you watch when they tell the greasy pole shuffle, they are just going to turn it on and go nuts. They will.
So, Nikki, you mean once they reach the greasy pole out here, that's like the final stretch? They're going to hear everyone on the beach, probably Spot family, you know?
Yeah, that's it. We call it the greasy pole shuffle. Because once you get to the greasy pole, you know you have 20, 30 more strokes. and you just let it all go. You empty the tanks and you go. Regardless if you're 15 boats ahead or not, you still do it. Your family's here cheering for you, the crowd's cheering. All right, why is the front lead oar was out of the water for 2 strokes on Lady Luke's? She's back in. Didn't make a difference, but here we go. Getting close to the greasy pole.
Is Ralphie's crew coming back for second place?
Yep, it looks like Stroke Sisters might be coming in on second. But Empowered isn't too far behind. Maybe half a boat? Full boat?
Yeah, they're behind the crew on the left. They're ahead by a boat, but the other crew looks like it's coming.
Here they go, the greasy pole shuffle. Who's going to get second? We know who has first. Hint is coming home. Second win. Good for them.
Nice job.
Lady Luke's 2024 champs.
Beautiful
along with 23. Beautiful stroke. Timmy Oaks, Alexis Novella, Bailey Dombrowski, Goober Oaks, Delaney Oaks, Lily Pendergrass, Mia Wheeler, Kelsey Francis, Maddie Oaks, Lila Spear, Riley Smith, and Ella Tucker. Timmy Oaks is going to be the man of Fiesta this year.
A big hug.
Big Daddy with 3 of his girls
that's
on the
boat. That's a
boat.
great picture. All those girls, they appreciate what they do for them.
That's what it's all about. You 3 of your daughters on one boat. Amazing. And Santa Maria Empowered second with a close third with the Nina and Stroke Sisters. Excellent race to all 3 crews.
Great job, all 3 crews. Congratulations. Congratulations to Lady Luke's 2024 champs, 2023 champs, back to back.
Girls than he does when with Chaos.
We should say, actually, Timmy Oaks is going to join us for our broadcast tomorrow.
Excellent.
Along with Derek Hopkins.
Yeah, I'm fighting against that.
You'll be fine, Phil.
No, I'm fighting against Oaksy. I told him the other night, no, that's it. I don't want you around.
This is going to be the year of the Oaks.
No, I love Oaksy.
The year of the Oaks.
He's a dear friend.
His girls, him, that's awesome. That's what it's all about. That's the most important thing right there, is him with his 3 kids right there.
Yeah, winning with your daughters like that, it's just awesome. It's just awesome.
Really, I needed to make sure I could see my daughters on the beach, but he has his daughters in the boat.
If you don't see one of them, you're screwed. They're in seat 5.
Where's Goober?
Yeah, where's Goober? She was just jumping up and down, I think.
Awesome job.
You see the Lady Luke's holding the American flag. That is your prize. And now they live in infamy.
What a picture for the living room. Your 3 daughters and you. Again.
Yeah.
There's a great photo right there.
Yeah, and we got Eric Dombrowski with his daughter. That's really pretty sweet,
that's
having everybody with their daughters.
Have a great row, Eric Dombrowski.
Yep. Yeah, I think they both rode on Chaos.
They
right?
both are on Chaos, yeah.
Were they both on Staying Alive?
No, Eric wasn't. Neither one of them were.
Oh, all right.
Neither one of them were.
But that was the beginning of Chaos, really.
Kind of 2 years later, yeah, because there was a few of us that were left high and dry by some of the guys who were Staying Alive that thought they were going somewhere better. And we kept 4 or 5 guys from Staying Alive, made a few phone calls, and they're still here today.
You never leave a winning crew. Why would somebody leave a winning
Well,
crew?
we lost. You know, when we lost that year after, they just they thought they were going somewhere in a better spot. I made that mistake once, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made. But
the biggest mistake you ever made?
I can think of 3 others right now.
In rowing, the biggest mistake I ever made was when I left Chaos, because I thought I was going somewhere. You know,
oh yeah, because then you didn't get to come to the parties anymore.
No, but the good thing about it is Oaksy. I told him get Oaksy, and Oaksy's won a few since, so couldn't ask for a better guy to win.
And Ralphie's been at it for years. He always jumps in with the juniors and helps out with them.
Yeah, Ralphie.
I mean, I don't know how many years. I mean, he's always been very supportive too. How many years I've been out there rowing, and he's in the committee boat right next to us.
Oh, yeah.
And he's cheering and everything. So, and that's huge.
Another great guy.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, you're still looking at the Lady Lukes, defending champs now back-to-back for the Lady Lukes. Great stuff from the women's junior Seine teams today. Pow Ord had a big upset over Rogue in the women's senior race to kick things off today. And Max Allen was your Greasy Pole champ. We're just going to get final thoughts on the same boat races from Phil Francis and Nikki Parisi. Phil, what you think?
I was shocked at the not that they won the race, because I felt in the women's race that the crew that won Power could race with them. I was shocked at the way they beat them. They beat them from beginning to end, and I mean they smashed them, and that's what I was shocked at more than anything else. But you don't know about. I didn't know much about the Power crew. Looking at it, they have a lot of look like young athletes, and that's what I think women's sailboat rowing is going to now. Young athletic women, which is, hey, if it works, it works. Got no beef with it, but we'll see what happens when they come back next year. Mm-hmm. But I think Rogue is a defending champ. I don't think they're going to come back as that whole crew. I think they're going to probably want to make some changes. Sometimes things get stale, and you want to make a few changes, but you never know.
Time will tell.
Yeah, and the Lukes, the race was over 100 yards on the beach. It's just a matter of even though they're juniors, they're a veteran crew with a great stroke, tremendous stroke, and they have a good teacher. Alexis does a great job. She learned a lot from her father over the years. Alexis being a rower herself, she knows what it takes. And then they got Timmy Oakes steering. Timmy Oakes is the guy that kind of settles things down. Balance, keeps it on balance, keeps it nice and even. That's all.
And Nikki, your thoughts on today?
All right, so again, totally impressed with the crew that won. Who were they? Power. I'm sorry. I mean, that just came out of nowhere, so that was crazy. They were great. I kind of disagree with you about younger rowers, though, because I think a lot of times you need to have a good mix of both, because a lot of times the younger girls, they panic too much. You get the older people in there, like, I don't
more
want to say
experienced,
older,
more experienced.
The more mature people in there, and they're a little bit calmer, and they keep everything kind of going. So I don't know if I agree about the whole younger thing, but both races were amazing. Lady Luke's, that was not a surprise by any means, and I just think that it was awesome, especially for him to win with his 3 daughters on the boat. That's better than any trophy. That's better than any bragging rights. That's just awesome. So.
Yep, and we've got 2 more big races tomorrow, plus a Saturday poll. We're going to be starting the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Phil will be back with us. Nikki, thank you again as always. We loved your expertise. It's always great chatting with you and catching up with you. Buona Fiesta. I'm sure I'll see you all weekend long. Okay, and John and I will be back right after this to wrap things up. You're watching the 2024 St. Peter's Fiesta live from Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Kory Curcuru for 1623 Studios, and this is the story behind St. Peter's Fiesta. A Sicilian tradition was adopted in Gloucester in 1927 so the fishing community could pray for fair seas and huge catches before a statue to honor the patron saint of fishermen. It became a yearly procession which fishermen's wives organized into a multi-day celebration and feast. Religious events include a 9-day novena and a Catholic blessing of the fleet, followed by a parade where volunteers dressed in all white carry St. Peter through the streets. Fiesta concludes when the statue is returned to its home at the St. Peter's Club to a hail of confetti and song. Today, thousands enjoy the June festival with its carnival, music and mass at the ornate altar, hardcore Seine boat races, and Fiesta's most popular event, the Greasy Pole, where costume contestants chase a flag pinned to the end of a greased pole high above Gloucester Harbor. The winner is carried from Pavilion Beach to the altar amidst chants of "Chi siamo tutte mute?" What are you, mute? Why aren't you screaming "Viva San Pedro"? Until next time, see you in the neighborhood.
Viva San Pedro! Viva San Pedro!
I'm Kory Curcuru for 16.
All right, John and I are back to put a bow on this amazing Fiesta Friday. We saw some great action. We saw Rogue get upset by Power in the women's senior scenes. We were not expecting that at all. Max Allen, a little bit of redemption, being able to grab the flag and win today's poll. And then an amazing repeat performance from the Lady Lukes in the junior races.
Yeah, it was just a great day all around. Rogue, just a phenomenal crew, 5-time champion, going for 6. And to see, what they did, and you see on the screen now Max Allen, what he did last year, great walk after great walk, and like you were saying, redemption, on last year getting to the end and just it not coming out. So congratulations to Max Allen, congratulations to Power Orr, and congratulations to Lady Luke's. Just a great day, and we can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah, now, John, so what do we have lined up for tomorrow other than the Saturday poll, which is going to be a big one? That guy gets to has a chance to advance to Sunday, the Day of Champions.
Yeah, Max Allen is a heavy favorite tomorrow. There's a lot of good walkers. Ross Carlson here with us today, but Max Allen's going to be a heavy favorite in tomorrow's Greasy Pole competition. You have what a Seine boat competition you have tomorrow with ZFG. You have the Gigoloni and the Morrisseys again.
Yep.
I mean, the merger. I mean, you just have a lot of good crews. Andy Orlando's crew, a lot of young guys, but a crew that's up and coming, no doubt. So tomorrow's Seine boats are going to be phenomenal. The Greasy Bowl is going to be phenomenal. It's just going to be a phenomenal day. There's no other word to use other than it's going to be a great day, and looking forward to it.
We'll see what the conditions bring tomorrow, of course. The tide is going to be high, not as high today, so you'll see more people on the beach tomorrow, which is great. And then, like we said, our broadcast is going to start 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we do have to give some shout-outs here. A lot of people help us put this together. We have to thank our friends at Streamography. They bring live streaming, storytelling, audio, video, lighting, and networking mastery to your events. You can see and learn more at streamography.com. The folks at 1623 Studios. I'm actually a producer there, too, but we have an amazing crew that hooked us up today. They are the public access station for all of Cape Ann. That's Gloucester, Manchester by the Sea, Essex, and Rockport. You can learn more about them at 1623studios.org. I'm Kory Curcuru. I'm with Bridge Cape Ann. We do all sorts of marketing and fun stuff. You can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel here to stay in touch with all of our action this weekend as well. And we have to thank our friends from LiveNOW from Fox. It's a nonstop stream of breaking news, live events, and top stories powered by Fox TV stations. Watch anytime, raw and live and unfiltered wherever you stream. You can go to livenowfox.com to find out how to watch. We also have to give a big shout out to the St. Peter's Fiesta Committee. We've been collaborating with them for a couple of years now, and it just gets bigger and better every year. You can donate to this event by going to stpetersfiesta.org. That's not spelled out. stpetersfiesta.org. If you go to the contact tab, you can make a direct donation there. It helps out with all the events here too. And then a big tip of the cap to Keith Palazzola on the drone today. Amazing footage of all the events. It definitely brought our broadcast up to another level. Can't wait to do it again for everyone else tomorrow. So come back right here, same channel, same time, 4 p.m. Eastern for the 2024 Saturday St. Peter's Fiesta, Greasy Pole, and Seine Boat events. For John DeCastro, I'm Kory Curcuru. From all of us here in Gloucester, Massachusetts, Bona Fiesta and Viva San Pedro.
Bona Fiesta, everybody.
In 2023, Gloucester, Massachusetts celebrated a momentous milestone, 400 years of rich history, culture, and community. We didn't just celebrate our history, but the heart and soul of Gloucester, its people, and the sea.
So we wanted to make sure that throughout this anniversary, we are incorporating voices from as many different people as we can to tell the full, complex, deep story of this land.
We are a fishing town. We are built on lore. We are built on legend and determination.
Each concert, play, and gathering wasn't just an event. It was a testament to our collective resilience and creativity.
We have an incredibly talented community, and the legacy of that community is being brought forward and advanced by events like this and all of the work that's being done in our schools.
We witnessed the vibrant spirit of our city at the Fisheries Heritage Festival, a tribute to our enduring connection with the sea.
400 years, think of that. This town has been fishing for 400 years. This is more than just a job. It's hereditary. It's in your blood.
The Gloucester 400 is over. It doesn't mean any of this has to be over. It took a whole lot of people to make Gloucester what it is.
As we look back at this year, we see more than celebrations. We see a community united, a heritage honored, and a future bright with promise. Here's to Gloucester, our home, our pride. Thank you for making us a part of your journey.